And of course, most of their drives coming from the back line of with McGuan running off, Barwick there, and of course Kelly's in great form too. He had toughness, and he got off that charge too, so he's still back in there giving them plenty. For St Kilda, of course, Lockett is the answer. They're back in. They'll probably be playing for the full game today. I think he's due for his mandatory 6 or 7. There's nothing you can do to stop him. But where I think St Kilda fall down, and I hope Al's not going to jump on me after game, is their disposal and skill level compared to Collingwood is not comparative at the moment. So therefore I'm going for Collingwood to win by about 6 goals, because I think we're going to see a very determined and aggressive Collingwood side today.
Very important game. You've touched on the Brownlow there, Peter, because the favourites are playing in that game, Stuart Lowe of St Kilda, and the Collingwood combination of Tony Shaw and Darren Mullane. It's rather interesting. The newspaper and award polls in the Football Record this week shows that, you know, they are the leading candidates with Greg Anderson of Essendon.
Sure, and don't forget Graham Wright, too. He's in there, and to be quite honest, I think if Graham Wright could put in about 2-3 voters between now and the end of the year, he's going to have a good chance of winning it as well, because he polled a lot of votes in a lot of games early in the season.
I wish I watched that Footscray game last week, and there's no doubt that the Collingwood players needed to be brought back to earth a little bit, because in that first quarter they did layer eyes. They controlled the game and let Footscray back in.
Yep, Bobby, I agree with you 100%, and I reckon it was the best thing that's happened for the Collingwood Football Club to get that knock-off last week, because Lee Matthews plenty to work out now, and I'm sure he would have been revving them up all week.
Thank you. Peter Welch is going for the Magpies to win fairly comfortably out at Victoria Park. At Cardinia Park, Ricky Barham, can you see the Pussycats purr today, or do you think the Bombers will be able to hold top spot with the win down there at the Cardinia Park?
Yes, they could purr, though I like the Cats, but they won't be good enough to beat Essendon today. They had a bit of a let-off last week, Essendon, with Collingwood's loss to St Kilda, and I don't think they'll allow that to happen again. They're just looking through their side, and they have a replacement. Mark Harvey is out. Spawn replaces him, and for the Cats, David Wellesby will replace Darren Flanagan, and that will be a big blow, because they haven't got a ruckman. I see as they're lining up, Barry Stoneham will be taking the ruck, but they look very deficient in the ruck area. Brownless is a centre-half forward and Yates full forward, but the fact is that against tall sides such as Salmon and Madden, I just don't think the Cats will be in a bull's roar of Essendon today.
And he had Yates, one of the best players last week at centre-half back, and he's lined up at full forward. OK, thank you very much indeed, Ricky. And finally up to Princes Park for one of the games that really will have the tipsters jesting. Fitzroy in Richmond, Simon Beasley.
Yes, Mike, no doubt about it. It'll be a toss-up, because the Tigers 6 wins this season and Fitzroy 5. Richmond promised so much up until a few weeks ago, but unfortunately with injuries and suspensions, without the 2 Pickering boys today, Barry Young, who's out suspended, and Jeff Hogg, they're a little bit light on the Tigers. And of course Fitzroy, well, they're a total enigma. They were disgraceful 3 weeks ago against the Bears. I think that was certainly the low point for the club this season, but they've picked up their rating the last couple of weeks, beating Geelong out at VFL Park. And of course their second half against Melbourne last week showed that there are better things to come. But Fitzroy are a side that seem to get their act together late in the season, and I'm expecting them to overcome the Tigers today, even though Richmond do have a very good record over the years against Fitzroy. They've always been a problem for Fitzroy because of their small running players, but I think it'll be a tremendously competitive game. And the ball's just been bounced there, and Clokey's got an early mark, but I just think the Royals may get the points come the end, Smoke.
OK, players lining up here at Waverley. Robbie Flower.
Well, it's going to be brief, but I think Melbourne will win the game, but by any means it won't be easy early, and they'll have to work hard, and particularly if they want the percentage on the board.
And there's umpire Chris Mitchell bouncing the ball. Gastev had to get the first knock to it. It comes to Greg Healy of Melbourne. He gets a hurried kick out of the centre. Touch play on as the call as O'Dwyer goes up to knock it on. Obst goes in, but it's taken away by Wern of the Bears. Out towards the wing on the outer side. In goes Gary Lyon. Knocks the ball away from Ashcroft. Gary Lyon close to the boundary line will put the Demons into attack. They're going to the big scoreboard goal. Up goes Campbell. Couldn't hold it. Out the back it comes. It's Obst kicking it forward. Bennett comes out, charges at the bouncing ball, runs past it, through comes Jackson. In goes Jackson to kick it off the ground. Across the face of goal it goes. Here comes the Noddy leading in the race for the ball. He backs himself in. He has 1 bounce. He has 2 bounces. Good strong run by Zanotti. Gets the hand pass over the top to Walsh. Walsh on the wing on the members' side. Puts the Bears into attack up towards half forward, and O'Keefe claims a mark, not paid. As Phoebe was there playing his 50th game, he led the Demons out, and Brett Lovett gets the free kick for a high tackle. Onto the bench for Melbourne as selected, Jay Barney and David Flintoff. And as selected for the Bears, Sean Hart and Ray Windsor. As the ball is taken here by Number 15, that's Tingay for Melbourne. He kicks to half forward. It's taken by Ishenko. He gets the hand pass across to Roberts. Roberts gives the hand pass to Gastev. Gastev at half back on the members' side looks for Taylor. Punched away by Spalding. Taken in front of the pack by Steins. Gentleman Jimmy up towards the wings. Zanotti goes up to punch the ball away. Through comes Roberts. Did he keep the ball in? Yes, said boundary umpire Hammond, and his kick goes back, and it's marked by Yates near the point of the square for Melbourne. He plays on, gets the hand pass to Todd Barney. Barney a hand pass across the stretch. He's off and running. He likes the open spaces. He's had a second bounce. He drives the Demons back into attack, and here's Obst all on his own to take the mark on the 50-metre line, getting away from Wern. Andrew Obst prominent early. First game back after a couple in the reserves. Kicks to full forward, and the mark missed by Withers, the former Demon. Playing in the back pocket down there on Ricky Jackson, and umpire Mitchell comes in and calls for the ball. And he's going to bounce it up about 20 metres out from the goal that the Demons are attacking at the big scoreboard end. Familiar figure on the ground is former umpire Ian Clayton, of course, now running for the Bears. A very ordinary bounce taken by David Bain. He's well tackled by Bennett, forced the hand pass away. The hand pass comes to Jackson. Jackson back to Steins. Steins goes for goal, and up goes Big Robertson. He touches it just on the line as he flew with Campbell. And so the first score of the match on the St Ava Spiderman scoreboard is a behind kick by Jimmy Steins for Melbourne. So Melbourne lead 1-0 here, 2.5 minutes first term at Waverley. 3AK football, and here's Bobby Skilton.
As the Bears see Mark Withers to bring the ball back into play. The left foot kick from Withers.
Oh, over the line, buddy.
Over the line, and so when you go to the side, Bobby, the umpire looking straight down the ground is in a position to see that.
That's for sure, and I think there has been a directive by the umpires to be on the lookout for players doing this, crossing over the line, and they're being particularly strict on this at the present time.
So we'll have a bounce to take place on the goal square line. It's 10 metres out from the Melbourne goal. Melbourne on one behind 3 minutes into the first term on the St Ava Spiderman scoreboard, and Ashenko thumps the ball wide. It's picked up by Richardson of the Bears. He keeps the ball close to the boundary line. He had no one to kick the ball to, and the only player within 35 metres is Big O'Dwyer. A shocking kick from O'Dwyer goes straight to Gastev. Gastev a hand pass across to Davidson, and free kick goes the way of the Bears. Davidson. He's called play on by the umpire. Melbourne players not hearing it, so no one ran at Davidson, and he goes straight towards the centre and looks for McIver, who spilt the mark. He was offloaded by Lovett. Lovett picked the ball up from Melbourne, got out towards Viney. Viney hand passed it out in front of him, recovers beautifully, gets a hand pass to Gary Lyon, who's offloaded by Davidson just as he was about to get boot to ball, and it's picked up by the Bears' Withers. Withers puts the ball back, but there's no one there for the Brisbane Bears, and we find the mark easily taken by Stephen Stretch. Long kick by Stretch. Lovely kick down towards the forward pocket. It's off the hands of Bigashenko. Through comes Campbell. Kicks the ball off the ground. It bounces towards goal. Doesn't go through, though, and we find Zanotti coming out. A blind turn. Puts himself in trouble. He's dispossessed. No, he will be penalised because he was holding the ball. Tried to do too much, Mark Zanotti, and so is penalised Robbie Flower.
He was. He really didn't know which way to turn. He did a blind turn one way, twisted the other, and players converged on him from everywhere, and it was finally Andrew Obst, who was the third man to get to him, receives the free kick.
Good effort by the Demons, because they had three at the ball, which was what put the extra pressure on Zanotti.
So Andrew Obst from 25 metres out, about a 45-degree angle. It's a shocking kick from Obst, and so far across is it that it's out of bounds on the full. Now the Bears wanting to get the ball moving in a hurry, a little bit technical that to bring it back, because the Bears player was right down there. That's Bigashenko. He had actually taken the mark behind the line. Because there was no Melbourne player there, why couldn't he play on?
I agree, Bobby. He seemed to kick straight over his mark, and fair enough as he kicks Ishenko back out to half-back, and a very strong mark taken by Earl Spalding, who appeared to have started the game at centre-half-back rather, on Andrew Taylor, and he was down there at half-forward. He kicks deep to full forward, and a good mark taken by Reynoldsson out the back. He's lined up at full-back on Bennett. Reynoldsson kicks the ball out. That's to Davidson. Davidson takes the mark on the 50-metre defensive line, gets the hand pass away to Leslie. Leslie looks for McIver on the wing on the outer side. Lovett's picked him up as it spills out the back to Yates of Melbourne, who has a bounce. A centering kick, but there's no one home, and big Alex Ishenko's there unopposed to take the mark. Gets the handball away towards Roberts, who's lined up in the back pocket on Campbell. Roberts kicks it back in towards the middle. Oh, up goes Tingay, couldn't hold the mark. Here's a chance for Ashcroft of the Bears. He gets the hand pass across to Welsh. Welsh runs out of the centre circle square, gets the hand pass on to Gastev. Gastev will kick the Bears into attack, but there's no one home. The man in front is Danny Hughes, in front of Roger Merritt. and he takes the mark. And wasn't it interesting to see Bobby Skilton, that Danny Hughes' most admired sportsman was our one and only Robbie Flower in that football article in the Herald last night.
Yes, it was great to see, and I can understand a player like Hughes feeling that way as Tingay receives the hand pass from Healy. Tingay has plenty of time to steady, puts the ball forward. Could be a free kick to the Bears, though, as Bennett going to punch the ball away, and he copped the Bears player in Reynoldsson too high, and so Reynoldsson will take the free kick. Reynoldsson hand passes across, and it goes back towards his teammate, and it looked like Philip Walsh who takes it. No, it's not Walsh. Walsh is on the wing, so it's David Wern, a youngster playing not too many games so far, and Wern got it up towards the wing. It's stumped forward back towards Richardson. Richardson breaks the tackle, and it's all Brisbane Bears as Wern takes it again. Hand passes across to Davidson. Davidson goes short in towards the centre. Not a well-placed kick, but it bounces favourably for Ashcroft. Ashcroft's the hand cross over the top, and we find now Taylor has plenty of time. There's no pressure applied by either side at the moment, and Taylor gets the short one across to Walsh. Walsh changes direction, looks for Merritt across the ground. Merritt copped the push in the back from Hughes. Called play on. Now we see Hughes tap the ball over as he copped a hand pass from Spalding. Merritt still coming back. Great play by Merritt. Tapped it back to Gastev. Gastev with the left foot goes goalward, and the Bears bring up first goal of the game. Kicked by John Gastev.
7:40 gone in the first term. The Brisbane Bears are one straight goal, 6 leading Melbourne, 1 behind, 1 point. Let's check the other scores. Have they started at Collingwood yet, Peter Welsh? Peter Welsh?
Sorry, Smokey, not underway yet, Smokey. We're just about to line up. Kelly is lining up and Lockett, who's at full forward, and then McEwen at full forward at the other end for the Magpies. The ball just bounced now.
Thank you very much, Ricky Barham, Geelong.
9-minute mark down here. The Gary Ablett show's in full swing. Geelong 3-1-19, all kicked by Gazza, Essendon 1 behind.
Oh, thank you very much, and Simon Beasley.
Yeah, 10-minute marks, Mike. 2 quick goals to the Tigers. They've burst out of the blocks.
And the ball picked up by Bain. He gets the hand. Oh, past to Richardson. The ball spills free. The hand pass comes across the big tail of the blonde hair flowing in the breeze. A long left foot kick down towards full forward. Goal! It floats through. Strong shepherding by Merritt in the square. Hughes couldn't touch it. And the Bears have kicked away out of the blocks here at Waverley. And they've got 2 goals on the board on the Sonova Spiderman scoreboard. 2 straight goals, 12. Melbourne, 1 behind, 1 point. 8 minutes 40, first term, Robbie Flower.
Well, I don't know about kicked away out of the box. They certainly got the score on the board, and Melbourne had most of the play up in this first term in their half of the ground, and the Bears have brought it down with the wind. I'd say they have a slight wind advantage down to the small scoreboard end. Have put on 2 goals, but the Melbourne boys are fiddling around with the ball a little bit.
Centre bounce. Steins wins a tap out, but it goes straight to Ashenko. Can't get it clear, and eventually it bounces back to Ashenko. He kicks it off the ground, and then so too to Stretch. Stretch puts the ball out towards the wing. Kicked off the ground again, this time by Jackson of Melbourne, who races after it, using his speed. In hot pursuit down there was Ashcroft, and he forces that player Jackson to miss the ball. It comes back towards Jimmy Steins, and it's forced over the boundary line, so a throw-in to take place on centre wing.
Robbie, interesting to see the Bears not line anyone up on their attacking centre half forward square line. They're right back on across the true half forward position for that bounce.
Yeah, it's obviously a tactic that Norm Dare's worked out for his side.
Steins wins the tap out. It's tapped on again by Stretch. Comes to Eishold of Melbourne. Eishold goes with a long kick towards half forward. And Reynoldsson coming out, but it drops short before Reynoldsson could get it. And great judgment by Gary Lyon. He was running the wrong way. And then as the ball, and maybe that breeze has picked up a little bit, Smokey, because that ball really did hang in the air and drop down all of a sudden.
Certainly did.
So Gary Lyon has taken the mark 40 metres out. Mark Zanotti is his opponent today, and he's on the mark at the moment. So Gary Lyon will kick from just inside the 50 metres. A nice-looking kick from Gary Lyon. He favours the drop punt, but it's offline. And in fact, so far offline, it's out of bounds on the full. So maybe the breeze, the flags do look as though they're going across the ground as well. And we've seen that both Andrew Obst and Gary Lyon now put the ball over the boundary line on the full without a score.
Now with us, the former Melbourne player will kick the ball back into play for the Bears. He goes with a long kick out the half-back. He's looking for Eishenko. Good tap away there by Obst. It's picked up by Stretch of Melbourne. Gets a short distance left foot kick. Todd Viney couldn't control it, but it's kicked off the ground by Steins. That's a clever handball across to Jackson. Jackson goes with a long kick down towards goal. Offline though as O'Dwyer goes back with Leslie. Looks like he was... well, he's spelling at centre half forward at the moment, Big Strawberry, and Steins is rucking. And that behind was kicked by Ricky Jackson. So it's 2 goals to 2 points here. And the ball has come across to Davidson, who's been prominent early. He gets the long hand pass to Taylor, who is a half-forward, is covering more ground than the early settlers. Handball comes from Leslie across to Davidson again for another possession. His kick up towards the wing, beautifully gathered by Lovett of Melbourne. He kicks back towards half-forward, over the head of Viney. That ball seemed to carry a bit more. Kicked off the ground by Withers, but it goes straight towards Ops near the point of the square and attack for Melbourne. He handballs out to Brett Lovett, whose foot pass is okay. No, too far for Todd Viney. It goes over his head. Knocked on by that player. A chance for Greg Healy, the Melbourne skipper. He handballs it back to Viney, who now goes for a short pass. And the mark is taken by Simon Eichhold about 40 metres from goal, just in from the boundary line. So Melbourne certainly have had all the play and all the possession, but on going forward have scored just 2 behinds. The Bears have got the ball inside their 50-metre arc twice and have kicked 2 goals, one by Johnny Gastev and one by Andrew Taylor. Can Eichhold open the account for the Demons? He can't, and it's only a behind. He goes across the face of goal that time. So Melbourne are 3 behinds, trailing Brisbane 2 straight goals, 12. We better check some scores. Peter Welsh at Collingwood.
Collingwood 1 goal, Smokey. St Kilda 1 goal, Collingwood 1 behind.
And Ricky Barham.
Geelong 3-1-19, Essendon 1-1-7.
Simon Beasley.
Richmond 2-1-13, leading Fitzroy 3 points, 3.
And here's Big Roberts, the fridge, picking the ball up. He has one bounce and he comes up towards the wing on the members' side. Kicks to half forward. O'Keefe's got a break on Phoebe. Takes the mark. Was about to play on, but goes back. He'll drive the ball into the 50-metre arc where there are only 4 players. Merritt and Hardy for the Bears, but Hughes leads out in front of Merritt. Smothers up well, but it comes back to Hardy. Handball just a bit slick for McIver, who gets it. Tries to get it out to a teammate, to Gastev. Back to Hardy, who ducks his head. Hardy out to Richardson. Can he get control of the footy? He can't. Cleverly tapped out by Stretch towards Brett Lovett. Lovett picks up at half-back and clears for the Demons, but there's no one home. Ishenko marks in the middle of the ground. A hand pass to Davidson. Davidson gives it to the running Zanotti. Zanotti coming down the ground. A long kick. That's a well-placed ball for Merritt. Oh, he should get a free as he was put down by Hughes. The ball tapped out to Phoebe, who's always unloaded as he gets the handball across to Yates. Back towards the wing as Todd Viney goes down. They're going in pretty hard here as Ishenko gets the handball. It comes out to Wern. Wern off the left boot in towards centre-half forward. McIver in front. The ball thumped away by Stones. It's going close to the boundary line and over at the 13.5-minute mark of the first term. The Bears 2 straight goals, 12. Melbourne 3 behind, 3 points.
After a lot of free-running football, some heavy clashes in that little passage of play there. Some willing shepherds and hard pieces, hard bodies at the ball.
And his little David Bay might have been lucky. They all missed him as they went for the mark. As it's picked up that time by Ashcroft. His kick goes straight across the face of goal. But Hardy first on the scene. Gets a little short chip back the wrong way. Nice play by Hardy. He saw his teammate, and that was Philip Walsh, who was on his own. And Hardy actually went backwards that time, but Walsh has taken the mark and just over 35 metres out from goal. Walsh's shocking kick, the left foot kick from Walsh going off the side of the boot, out of bounds on the full, on the opposite side of the ground. So a poor kick by Philip Walsh, and we see the Brisbane Bears on the St Albans Vitamins 3AK scoreboard. 2 straight goals, 12 points. Melbourne 3 straight behinds. 9 points the margin in favour of the Bears as Peter Rode brings the ball back into play. Punched away from Stretch that time by Bigashenko, but a poor kick by the Brisbane Bears goes straight to Stephen Phoebe. So Phoebe in the last line of defence drives it over the half-back line, almost towards the wing, and a fine mark that's taken that time by Gary Lyon. A quick hand pass to Stretch, who goes straight up in towards the centre of the ground. Bennett missed the mark. It's tapped on by Viney. Overrun, kicked off the ground by Bennett, out of the hands of Wern. It comes towards Withers. Withers kicks the ball off the ground. Well trapped by Ops. Ops of Melbourne from the point of the centre square goes down with a beautiful pass, and Withers, after coming up and kicking the ball off the ground, caught out of position, and his opponent, Ricky Jackson, has taken the mark 40 metres out from goal. So Jackson kicking into a slight breeze. It's off the side of the boot once again, and once more. So that's the 3rd time that it's out of bounds on the full Robbie Flower.
Well, the breeze certainly is pushing in that direction, and the players are trying to kick from a little bit too far out, especially Ricky Jackson from there, and before from the 50-metre line. It's a bit far into the breeze.
Withers from beside the behind post, back into play he goes for the Demons. A long left foot kick, Ishenko up, the ball comes out the back. Campbell of Melbourne leading in the race for the ball. 2 number 4s there. Gastev tackles him well, the ball spills. Campbell tries to thread the hand pass through towards Yates. It's close to the boundary line, and boundary umpire Alan Hammond says it's over, and he'll put the ball back into play. 15:50 gone first term here 3AK football at Waverley. The Sonova Spiderman scoreboard. The Bears leading by 9 points. 2 straight goals, 12 to 3 behind, 3 points. Ball tapped down, good control by Ashcroft. He pushed it forward for Gastev, who knocks it on for Taylor. Good football by the Bears. The hand pass comes back to Ashcroft. Good running football. He kicks it into the pocket for Merritt, who takes the mark. Good play by the Bears. They control that ball well. And Merritt leading out in front of Danny Hughes has marked about 35 metres out from goal on around about a 45-degree angle. The Bears looking quite impressive so far here, Robbie Flower.
Once they get hold of the ball and they move the ball through the middle of the ground, they've got the running players with Walsh on his wing and Richardson when he comes down off the half-back line, and then the forward set up with Hardy in the pocket and also Big Merritt there. It gives them a bit of versatility and something to aim at up forward.
And comes Merritt to have the shot at goal. He fires, and he has put it through for just a behind. He hooked it just a little bit, and the Breeze got it as well. So the Bears 2-1-13 at 10 points up on Melbourne, 3 behind, 3 points. On the Sonova Spiderman scoreboard on 3AK football from Waverley. Let's check the other scores. Peter Welch, Collingwood.
Collingwood doing all the attacking, but they're still only 4 points. They're trailing St Kilda, who are 1-1-7.
Ricky Barham, Geelong.
As you can hear, Geelong have just kicked another one there. 4 goals, 2-26. Essendon 2-1-13.
And Simon.
Richmond 2-2-14, leading Fitzroy 1-3-9.
So the Bears going forward once again as the hand pass comes out now to Bigashenko. A wild hand pass from Mashenko. It should have been a free kick to Zanotti. He was held by Lyon, and now Lyon goes after it, gains possession. Beautiful pass from Gary Lyon straight onto the chest of the diving Darren Bennett. So Bennett well up the ground. He's moved out to centre half forward while O'Dwyer's off the ball, and it comes out to Davidson having a picnic in the centre. Davidson got the hand pass towards Leslie, but he lost possession. Eventually it's picked up by Tingay, who's got O'Dwyer on his own down the ground, and O'Dwyer has taken the mark 20 metres out. So loose defensive work down there to allow Stephen O'Dwyer, the current full forward at the moment, because Bennett is out at centre half, and O'Dwyer completely unattended, only 20 metres out. So he's on less than a 45-degree angle, and it's right through the centre by Stephen O'Dwyer. Melbourne bring up their first goal on the Sonova Spiderman's 3AK scoreboard. It's Melbourne 1-3-9, 4 points down to the Brisbane Bears, 2-1-13.
And coming off is Philip Welch, limping off the ground, and number 32, Sean Hart, goes on for the Brisbane Bears.
Will be a bit of a blow to the Bears too, because he is a running player and creates a lot of opportunity out of the wing, even though he does hang out a little bit and creates a loose man out there. But and it does create problems for an opposition wingman. But Gary Lyons' attack at the ball in that instance, although it was a little bit doubtful for a free kick, it was excellent play by Lyons. It shows what a class player he is.
50 possessions, thank you, Ray Young, for each team so far, as the ball is in the centre of the ground. It's picked up by Obst of Melbourne. His hand pass goes to Jackson. He's kick smothered, knocked on by Steins. It rebounds back to Ricky Jackson. He drives the ball towards centre half forward. Bennett couldn't hold the mark. It's on the volley, kicked by Withers back over the centre and onto the chest of Stephen Stretch. Stretch being picked up today by Richardson. Kicks the ball wide for Yates. Yates on the wing on the outer side, in towards half forward looking for Todd Viney, who doesn't let him down in front of young Wern. And Phoebe in his 50th game comes off for Jay Viney. The ball kicked in towards full forward. Leslie, who's playing on O'Dwyer, punches the ball away.
And the doctor had been out looking at Phoebe. I think he might have a shoulder.
Okay, thank you, Bobby Skilton. Boundary umpire hammered to put it away, back into play. 35 metres from the behind post, right forward pocket for the Demons at the big scoreboard end. The Bears in front, 2-1 to 1-3 as it's Richardson in front of the pack as Jackson comes in. The ball had gone out of bounds before he was attempting to kick it off the ground, and there'll be another throw in. 2-1-13 the Brisbane Bears. Melbourne 1 goal, 3-9 on the Sonova Spiderman scoreboard. 19 minutes and 50 seconds gone in the first quarter here at Waverley. 3AK's match of the day, the big one. Certainly was a very entertaining couple of hours before the football too today, as it's tapped down in front of the pack, taken by Bain of the Bears. Out to half-back and gathered by Ashcroft. He handballs it across towards the running Bain. Bain gets it back towards Richardson, who goes for a short pass, and it's marked by Roberts. Roberts, a 20-metre hand pass across the half-back line to Leslie. Leslie kicks it short to Zanotti. They haven't gained much distance, but he'll give it on to Davidson, who runs onto the bouncing ball. Can he pop the hand pass over to O'Keefe? He can. O'Keefe is beautifully tackled, but manages to get it out to Hart. Back to Zanotti. Good running football. Zanotti to McIver. And on his outstretched fingertips, he takes the mark. Zanotti was still running down the ground, but Lyon didn't give him much latitude. And that's a poor kick, although Merritt goes up and almost took the mark because Melbourne had the numbers at the ball. Comes across towards Road. He couldn't break clear. The tackle is on Road. And umpire Mitchell comes in and calls for a bounce at centre half forward for the Bears. Bobby Road, the player with the job on Brad Hardy today. 21 minutes first term. The Bears in front by 4 points, 13-9. St Davis Vitamin scoreboard.
Bounce 45 metres out from the Bears goal, and we see Lovett win the tap out. It comes out to Gary Lyon after a hand pass coming out, and I can't pick up. Healy got the hand pass out. He's underneath the Bears player then, and so we find Leslie taking the mark on centre wing. Plays on quickly. An awkward bounce for O'Keefe. Goes straight to O'Dwyer. O'Dwyer misses it. It comes back to O'Dwyer. Good play by Big Strawberry. It eventually puts a short kick out towards the wing, and Ashenko takes it. A wild hand pass, but it gives Leslie a chance as it bounced favourably for him. He puts it out towards the boundary line, and Davidson's there yet again. Got a ball of his own out there in this first quarter, and Davidson doing an exceptionally good job. Gives it across to Bain, who gets around Spalding. Bain of the Brisbane Bears puts the ball long towards Merritt, who taps it over the back. It's taken by Hardy onto the left foot. He goes nowhere near goal as it goes straight across the face, and we see Road, his opponent, first to the ball. Road then goes for the boundary line as it bounces towards the line. Stephen Stretch takes it and takes it over the boundary line, but Robbie, it's interesting to see Gary Lyon having a run on the ball, changing with Todd Viney.
Well, I don't think it does any harm either, because Gary Lyon's a very talented player, and his ball-getting ability around the ground has helped the Melbourne side.
It's grabbed from the throw-in that time by O'Keefe, but taken by Danny Hughes. Hughes swings the ball back in towards the centre, and a courageous mark by Gastev, because he backed back, not knowing if anyone was coming, kept his eye on the ball, and has taken the mark virtually right on the centre square line. So it's about 70 metres or so out from the goal square, and Gastev goes for the long kick, straight down the ground, looking for Merritt. McIver came across, couldn't quite take the mark. The loose ball comes from O'Dwyer out towards Lovett. Lovett gets the kick out to Stretch. Stretch tried to run straight away. He found himself under pressure after playing on and having a bounce. Richardson ran straight at him. It was a good tackle, and in desperation, Stretch put the ball straight over the boundary line.
No doubt about a free kick on that one, I don't think.
So the free kick to Richardson. He goes short to Hardy, who got away from Road. A good lead, and the kick comes to Hardy, who is just inside the 50-metre line. So,
how's my $2 going, Murray? It's even money each at two.
And so we'll find Brad Hardy from that position, well, kicking into what breeze there is, but Hardy, a nice kick, particularly when kicking for goal, because likes having a shot at goal, Brad Hardy. And it's a nice kick from Hardy. Won't make the goals, but Taylor was up, and the ball is over the boundary line on the full, according to the umpire, as both O'Dwyer and Taylor have a little bit of a push and shove, and Brett Lovett quickly comes in to quieten things down by taking Taylor out of proceedings.
And Philip Walsh came back on the ground then, Bobby, and Hart went off, and Flintoff came on for Melbourne, and Tingay went off. The ball punched down to Bain. A quick kick, and Taylor may mark. No, he went one-handed. It goes out the back to Big Merritt. Handball to Ashcroft, the fumble, but he picks up and he fires, and he's put a goal on the board. The Bears are further in front. Marcus Ashcroft, the local boy, pops it through for the Bears third after a scramble up there. And they move on to 3-1-19. The Brisbane Bears leading Melbourne 1-3-9 by 10 points. St Davis Vitamin scoreboard, 24 minutes first term. Peter Welsh with the latest from Collingwood.
16-minute mark, Collingwood 2-5-17, leading St Kilda 1-1-7 with Dennis Banks lining up.
And down to Geelong, Ricky Barham.
With the Cats doing all the attacking at the 25-minute mark, they're 4-4-28, Essendon 2-2-14.
And finally to Simon Beasley at Princes Park.
25-minute mark, it's Richmond 2-4-16, leading the Royals at 1-4-10.
From the tap out, it's taken by Flintoff, not long on the ground. Flintoff puts the ball out in front of Campbell. Campbell and Roberts. Oh, Campbell picks the ball up beautifully on the half volley and uses his pace to get away from Roberts. Has one bounce and swings the ball back, looking for Bennett. Bennett fumbled the mark, but he gets good support by Viney. A lovely hand pass from Viney to Jackson, and from the goal square, it's put right through the centre. Great teamwork by Melbourne, and a beautiful piece of play by Tony Campbell. So 1 goal to Ricky Jackson takes the St Davis Vitamins 3AK scoreboard to Melbourne 2 goals, 3-15, 4 points down to the Brisbane Bears, 3-1-19.
I think there was terrific play by 3 Melbourne players on that occasion. I think Flintoff started off with his burst into the centre from the wing, took control of the ball, put it out to Campbell, who backed his judgment, went hard at it, picked up on the half volley, then over where Todd Viney crumbed the pack beautifully and got the handball to Ricky Jackson for a great goal to Melbourne.
Umpire Harvey bounces. Up goes Oshenko against O'Dwyer. Taken by Gary Lyon. His handball goes to Eyeshoulder. Kicks to half forward. Out comes Gastev. Couldn't quite smother. The ball comes back towards Big Roberts of the Bears. Bit of a fumble by Withers. He got tripped though, and the umpire was right there, Johnny Harvey, to see it. Withers goes for a 20-metre hand pass across to Bain. He slips over, gets up, gets around Bennett and clears out towards the wing, but there's no one home for the Bears, and it's marked by Stretch. He gets the quick hand pass to Flintoff. Long kick to full forward. Campbell up a little early. The ball spills. Bennett kicks the left footer up and down. Almost marked his own kick. The ball comes out the back. Here's Withers weaving his way through. Handball across to Wern. Wern a hurried kick. Melbourne again with the numbers. Stretches like a brick wall over there. Richardson must think he's got the measles. He goes for a short pass. Taken by Steins. He goes for a dappy little short pass, and it's marked by the Melbourne skipper, Greg Healy, about 40 metres out from goal.
Well,
you don't give a player of Stretch's ability about 100 metres start, Robbie?
No, I think Stretch is manning up on that back or back on the wing and providing a brick wall, but hard shot for Healy here.
From 40 metres, he's allowed too much for the breeze, and they can't quite get it right, the Demons, can they?
Defence of Richardson, though, the Bears kicking like David Bain. Richardson went one way and Bain kicked it straight to Stretch.
Well, they're kicking out of those positions. They haven't looked on 3 occasions there.
27 minutes first term. The Synovus Vitamin scoreboard. Brisbane are 3-1-19. 3 points up on the Demons, 2-4-16. Peter Welsh, did Dennis Banks kick that goal for the Pies?
No, he didn't, but it went straight up to St Kilda, Smokey. So it's now Collingwood 2-7-19 with St Kilda 2-1-13.
Withers took the hand pass back and drives it down to the ground where it's taken by McIver. A hand pass across to Taylor and then down towards the forward area. It was missed by Hardy, and Melbourne repulsed the attack as Danny Hughes accepts the hand pass. Puts it up towards the centre wing. It's taken by Zanotti. Zanotti's kick, a poor one. He just couldn't hook the ball back far enough, and it goes over the boundary line on the full. So Andrew Obst of Melbourne will take the free kick. He's at half back, right on the boundary line, of course, down in front of the members' stand. Brisbane Bears 19, Melbourne 16. Synovus Vitamins 3AK scoreboard as Andrew Obst floats the ball forward towards centre wing. It'll be an awkward one to mark. No one can as the wind took it away. It's well taken that time by O'Dwyer. O'Dwyer goes straight down the ground with a long kick. It bounces towards Campbell. Campbell traps the ball well. Tackled well by Roberts. Campbell then kicks the ball off the ground. Through comes Withers. A hand pass over the top towards Zanotti, just inside the boundary line. He keeps it in play this time. Got a push after he got the ball forward. Well, it was poor play by Bennett because that ball had gone straight to Gary Lyon. But now it's a free kick to Zanotti, who goes straight across the ground towards the centre half back. Wern takes it. A poor hand pass. Luckily it comes back to him. Through comes Reynoldsson. Reynoldsson a wild hand pass, but Richardson's there. Richardson gives the hand pass out. We find Wern again. He gives it out now to Withers. Withers up towards centre wing. McIver's leading Lovett in the race for the ball, but no other player has a chance to get it. It's over the boundary line on the opposite side of the ground, the outer, before either Lovett or McIver could get within 30 metres of it as the siren sounds for quarter time. And the Synovus Vitamins 3AK scoreboard, Brisbane Bears 3-1-19, 3-point leaders over Melbourne 2-4-16.
Yes, a very spirited start by the Bears here at Waverley before a crowd of about 10,000. They've gone to a 3-point lead at quarter time with goals to John Gastev, Marcus Ashcroft and Andrew Taylor.
Right now, your Holden dealer has great bonus deals on new Holdens.
$14,754.
So to get the best deal on a new Nova, twist his arm a little.
$8,390. How much? $17,940.
And for a new Apollo, twist a little more.
$15,990. That's better.
And for the best ever deal on Australia's top-selling car, you know what to do.
I want a great deal.
So if you want a great deal, twist your Holden dealer's arm today.
Where do millions of jets, helicopters, planes, trains and trucks go when they're low on fuel? The same place you do. BP. BP on the move.
There's only one way to say I love you. I long to see the laughter in your face I can call you on the phone, but when it ends, we're still alone. I need to say I love you face to face.
At Australian, we believe our most important job is to bring people together. And if you're over 60, you can enjoy savings of 40% with our Senior Flyers fare. We can even arrange airport taxi vouchers so that you can get to see each other just a little more often.
When you need to say I love you face to face,
you should see us now.
Another road, another long day.
See you later.
Still chasing the dream of that day.
So, perfect wave, eh?
Let's have a Coke.
Can't beat it.
Can you tell us where the waves are?
Hey, 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 you can't stop it. You can't stop it. You can't stop it. You can't stop it. Feeling you get when you find the real thing. Coca-Cola. You can't beat it. You can't beat the feeling. You can't beat the feeling.
The AFL Football 1990 albums and stickers. The albums packed full of information on all the teams, their history, and the stars. Collect the stickers, swap the stickers. That's half the fun. When you have the whole set, you've got a fantastic souvenir of the season. The AFL Football 1990 album and stickers at your newsagent now.
Now, but the ball just jogged over and Jimmy's cracker bloke right up the ground on it, all on his own. Anyway, Collingwood 3-9-27, St Kilda 2-1-13.
Okay, all Collingwood there, and here at quarter time, Melbourne 2-4, but they're trailing the Bears 3-1. Let's take a break and be back for the second quarter on 3AK Football.
You're not looking happy, Fred. Your team lose again, eh?
Oh, more than the team, Harry. That bloody geared motor I bought last year for the conveyor burned out, and the agent reckons 3 months for spares.
Trying to tell you, Fred, you can't beat Australian-made. That's why I always use Charles and Hunting's variable speed drives and geared motors.
But, Harry...
No, you thought that import you bought from Mongolia or somewhere else would be cheaper, didn't you? Now, how cheap is it, eh? Charles and Hunting have been in business for over 40 years. Plus, Charles and Hunting offers 24-hour emergency spare parts service.
Football's expert commentary team, 1503 3AK.
And play underway on the Charles and Hunting scoreboard, Andrew Lawrence. The ball is in the centre of the ground. It's kicked by Greg Healy. It's touched off the boot up towards half forward. Through comes Werney, who was grabbed without the ball. Good decision, Chrissy Mitchell. Right in front of the umpire. The Melbourne fans don't like it, but we saw it on 3AK Football. And this is young David Wern getting the free kick for the Bears. He kicks it out towards the wing looking for McIver, and he finds him. Marking on his chest in front of his man, the shadow, Brett Lovett, who's done a very good job on him. The kick by McIver back to half forward, knocked on by Taylor, knocked on again, but it comes to Yates of Melbourne. He couldn't control the footy. Oh, almost a push in the back there. Comes to Jay Viney. His handball goes across to Danny Hughes. Over the top to Todd Viney. Todd Viney from half back, up towards half forward. Gastev in the van here. Near the point of the square, clears for the Bears. High, looking for Ashenko, who couldn't quite hold the mark. He falls over, so does Flintoff. Where are they? Flintoff's got the ball. What's he going to do? Play on it. He gets it out of the pack, but it goes to Ashcroft of the Bears. He's got no target, so he handballs back inboard to Davidson. Davidson gives the handball back to Walsh. Walsh kicks up towards centre half forward. Bit of a nudge by McIver, but the mark stands. He nudged Lovett out, but he's taken the mark, and the umpire said it's okay. And you talk about Jason Dunstall, Ray Young. And that was Scotty McIver. Ray's given me the stats. We'll have a look at them in just a moment. Yes, you do. You did last night, Ray Young. Don't just deny it. And here's the kick from McIver. He's keeping it low. It's not going to make the distance. The full forward. O'Dwyer up high to punch the ball away. It comes out in front of the pack to Gary Lyon, who has a quick kick out to half-back on the member side. The bouncing ball will beat Richardson and stretch over the line and out of bounds for a throw-in.
And Smarky, I think it's a trend that's coming in this year that players are getting away with that little bit of a nudge before they take a mark.
And on the bench for Melbourne, I think it might be the two boys who look a little bit proppy, in Tingay and Phoebe. And as they started, Hart and Ray Windsor for the Brisbane Bears. We'll check the latest from Peter Welsh in just a moment. Here's Todd Viney knocking the ball on for Melbourne towards Eichhold. In comes Badenay for the Bears. Oh, he's well tackled by Viney, and the ball spills across the line and out of bounds for a throw-in. 2 minutes and 15 seconds gone in the second quarter. Have you got a quarter-time score yet, Peter Welsh at Collingwood?
No, Smokey. 28-minute mark. Collingwood 3-9-27. St Kilda 2-1-13.
Throw in on centre wing, members side of the ground. Over the top comes Gary Lyon. Punches the ball forward. It's stumped on again by Eichhold. In the front position, it's taken by Withers. A quick hand pass comes out towards Richardson. He can't take possession. Got one a bit high from Viney. Jackson picks the ball up, gets it just inside the boundary, gives it to Healy. Healy gets the hand pass across to Viney, to Big Steins. Steins' kick is taken by Gastev. Hand pass across now to Withers, to Roberts. Across towards Zanotti. He has time to miss it the first time and then goes short. He looks for Reynolds, but it's a shocking kick. If through comes Flintoff. A hand pass across to Andrew Obbs. Obbs sees Healy across the ground. Healy's up and can't take the mark. It's taken by Bennett. Bennett snaps towards goal. It bounces in the square, bounces back, and it's through for full points. Kicked by Darren Bennett. Melbourne in front. 3-4-22 on the Charles and Hunting scoreboard with Brisbane Bears 3-15.
Well, Zanotti went the wrong way. He fumbled in the first instance. He had to kick hurriedly as Obbs came at him, but the clever bit of play again by Flintoff out in the wing. Once he had possession of that ball, he didn't waste any time. His first option was there. He shot a quick low handball out to Obbs. Obbs looked up and was well out of kicking range, so had to find an option. Went to Healy, and surprising enough, it was Bennett who crumbed the ball and kicked a clever goal.
Let's check quarter time at Victoria Park yet. So, Peter Welsh.
Siren just went smoke. Collingwood 3-9-27, well ahead of St Kilda and well outplaying them as well. 2-1-13.
Thank you very much indeed. The ball at half back for the Bears. It's taken by Withers. Another possession. He goes for a long hand pass to Zanotti. He's got Bain running past to receive the handball. That's a better one from Zanotti. Bain running down the ground. My word, he's got some explosive pace. He looks for Hardy up in the pocket. Up goes McIver. Couldn't hold the mark. He knocks it out towards centre half forward, but straight to Gary Lyon at Melbourne. He clears with a beautifully placed kick out to where three Melbourne players, Dwyer and Stretch, had a little bit of a misunderstanding, but Stretch is able to come away with the ball. Has one bounce that he gets around Ashcroft with a bit of ease. Off the long left foot, kick down towards half forward. Out the back towards Eichhold, but in comes Wern of the Bears. He's well tackled, goes to ground. Through comes Campbell. Nice little one-handed pass across towards Ricky Jackson, who cleverly keeps the ball in play. Overruns it, comes back to it, close to the boundary line. His hand pass comes out towards Campbell. Campbell gets a hurried left foot kick in towards centre half forward, and Davidson takes the mark on his chest. Handball's away for Gastev. Davidson, a very prominent player in the first quarter. The kick from Gastev goes short to Leslie. He was about to go. Now he does with a handball back to Davidson. Davidson kicks wide. Jay Viney is there with O'Keefe. In comes McIver, gets the hand pass back to O'Keefe. It comes to Taylor, then back towards McIver with the Stretch bearing down. McIver is finessing, gets tackled a bit low, shovels it back for Walsh. Walsh is tackled, gets it out to Taylor. They've gone nowhere in a hurry, the Bears. Now they've got a bit of a chance. The ball is kicked forward by O'Keefe in towards the pocket as Danny Hughes comes out with Merritt, and there's Hardy and Road, and the ball beats him across the line and out of bounds. 5:20 gone in the second quarter now at Waverley, and Melbourne in front, 3-4, a total of 22 to the Bears, 3-1-19 on the Charles and Hunting scoreboard.
Merritt to do the ruck work for the Bears. O'Dwyer for Melbourne. Melbourne win out with O'Dwyer getting the ball down. The hand pass quickly comes out to Todd Viney, and from about centre half back, he swings it in towards the centre, but Bigger Schenk goes there to take a timely mark. Hand passes immediately to Richardson, doesn't know which way to go, and now goes back in towards the centre of the ground. A pass across the ground, and it's a miss by Davidson. A bad miss, but he recovers well, comes back, gets the hand pass out, but it's all Melbourne, and Obbs picks it up and takes the ball away. Obbs goes straight down the ground. He's looking for Healy, but Withers is out in the front position. Withers taps the ball back, kicked off the ground that time by Campbell. Campbell of Melbourne goes after it again. In hot pursuit is Big Roberts of the Bears. Campbell's there. Roberts punches the ball over the boundary line, and the umpire gives him the benefit of the doubt. There was no doubt he put it over deliberately, but he was under a bit of pressure, knocked the ball out of Campbell's hands, and so with Melbourne holding a 3-point advantage, 3-4 to 3-1 on the Charles and Hunting scoreboard. We've been playing 6.5 minutes into this second term. No one gets a decisive tap, and the free kick goes the way of the Bears, and so we'll find Martin Leslie of the Brisbane Bears to take the free kick. He's on the mark, is a big Jimmy Steins. Don't worry about that, because we find the hand pass coming across to Bain. Bain then finds Wern. Wern with a short pass, still going across the ground. The Bears have gained nothing, but Reynoldsson takes it. Now they'll gain a bit of distance as Zanotti takes it. Hand passes on to Richardson. Richardson runs in towards the centre. The kick almost hit the big Dwyer, who taps the ball away. Ashcroft picks it up, gives it back to Richardson. Richardson's kick across the ground, and we find Flintoff coming in to take a timely mark. Hand passes to Todd Viney, who goes long, straight down the ground. Viney sees Bennett in front, can't take the mark. Eishold takes it. Hand passes to Greg Healy. Goal coming up as Healy passes the ball straight through the centre and brings up the Melbourne team's 4th goal. 4-4, 28 Melbourne on the Charles and Hunting 3AK scoreboard. Bears 3-1-19.
Well, I'm going to say it again, the same player involved in clever pieces of play was Flintoff again, out on his wing. The ball came across the ground. He took a good mark because the player was running straight at him. He doesn't muck around with trying to get around players. He shoots his first option out again and went to Viney. Long kick down the ground and crumbing there. The Demons again, Eishold out to Healy, and a good goal. And the breeze is pretty strong coming down to this small scoreboard end.
Okay, it'll still be quarter time at Collingwood, as we'll check some scores in just a moment. But Gary Lyon, look at that, he's a ball burster, Murray. Out of the centre, down towards full forward. It's bouncing, and it bounces through for a behind. It was an off break, it curled back. What a kick from well inside the centre square, and it bounced well past the kick-off line and through for a behind. One of those famous Gary Lyon torpedoes, a ball burst, and we love those, and that certainly is a pretty strong breeze. Going down to the small scoreboard goal. Melbourne 4-5-29, Brisbane 3-1-19 on the Charles and Hunting scoreboard. Kicked in by Withers, and it goes out of bounds without being touched. It bounced inside the line, but wasn't touched, and so Flintoff will take the free for the Demons. Flintoff came on early in the first term, replacing Stephen Phoebe, who's playing his 50th game. Kicks in towards the forward pocket. Gentleman Jimmy Steins picks up his hurried kick, goes in towards full forward. Campbell tackle without it, kicks it off the ground. Jackson tries to kick it off the ground. Smothered up by Bain, he does well. He pushes it across the line, and we give that one to Mr. Rush in the second quarter. So the Demons go to 4-6-30, starting to control the game. Brisbane 3-1-19. Let's check the score. Ricky Barham at Cardinia Park.
21 points Cats way, 5-5-35 Essendon, 2-2-14 at the 9-minute mark.
And Simon Beasley Fitzroy.
5-minute mark, it's Richmond 2-8-20, trailing Fitzroy 4-5-29.
Short kick in by Withers. It goes to Roberts. He goes short to Leslie. Now he goes short back across the ground, and it's marked by Withers.
It's a real possession game played by the Brisbane Bears, but eventually you'll lose possession, and that's what's happened on many occasions. Zanotti takes it on centre wing, up towards half forward. It was too far for McIver. Through comes Yates of Melbourne. A hand pass over the top, finds Hughes. Danny Hughes then gives a long hand pass taken by Flintoff. Gives it straight away to Todd Viney. Teaming well together, that pair, and a lovely pass by Todd Viney straight onto the chest of Greg Healy on centre wing. Healy's got the player down the ground in Andrew Obst. A well-placed kick allows Obst to play on immediately, puts the ball out in front of Darren Bennett, and the disposal of Melbourne compared to the Bears in this quarter in particular, Robbie, complete contrast.
Well, I think apart from the disposal, the sure ball handling, they don't fumble as what the Bears are, and I think it's just a matter of experience and pressure that the Bears probably haven't been used to, that they do fumble under a little bit of pressure, and I think if they can get that into their game, their sure ball handling, they'll be a lot better off.
And Bennett kicks from 45 metres out directly in front, and the goal umpire indicates that he's put it too wide of the goal post and put it through for only 1 point. Darren Bennett has 1 goal, 1. Melbourne on the Charles and Hunting scoreboard, 4-7-31. 11 scoring shots, Melbourne, to 4 by the Brisbane Bears on 3-1-19. So 12 points the margin held by the Demons as Richardson takes the short pass, goes short again, gives it to Leslie. Leslie thought about the hand pass and now directs it towards centre wing. Gastev takes a nice mark, plays on immediately, puts it further along the wing. Ashcroft in the front position, but Yates punches the ball away from Ashcroft. It goes over the boundary line and still virtually on centre wing, members' side of the ground. 4-7-31, Charles and Hunting scoreboard, Melbourne. Brisbane Bears 3-1-19. 11 minutes have gone in the second term.
Boundary umpire Hammond puts it back into play. The ball spills down to Davidson of the Bears, whose left foot kick towards half forward. It's knocked away from McIver down towards Yates. He gets the hand pass out towards Gary Lyon. The ball somehow rebounds to O'Keefe. There's an open goal. He ignores the lead. He kicks long. The ball gets the breeze. It floats away, and Danny Hughes running back with the flight of it.
Obviously no talk, Smoky. He could have ran and bounced the ball, touched it on the ground, and it's on behind play. It was between Gary Lyon and Taylor, and now it's, Taylor is bundled out of the way by Spalding.
And so Danny Hughes has been made to go back and kick over the mark. He's having another false start. Looks like Ray Windsor, the boy who won the medal at the Teal Cup last year, and the local boy in Queensland, who's going to come on as it's at the half forward for the Bears. Umpire Harvey letting it go, and now he's going to free kick Melbourne, is he? Oh, that's a red hotter. I thought they jumped into the player's back.
I think it is a red hotter because I think you have to be tackled to give a free kick away.
Off it was, and I thought they went into his back. And O'Keefe is now being dragged for running down and displacing away, and Windsor will go on. So Brad Hardy, the recipient of a somewhat fortuitous free kick at half forward, to see if he can score. The breeze will hold this one right up. It'll go up into the square from the hands of the Packets, roosted away by Danny Hughes, and now the Bears have got a wall across there. It's Walsh taking the mark. He goes for a short pass, and a good bit of shepherding by Zanotti. He got his body in and enabled Ashcroft a little bit of space to take the mark. Good work by Zanotti. And Ashcroft has marked some 35 metres out directly in front. He's got a much better position from which to attempt to score here than Hardy had a moment or two ago, Robbie.
He has. I think he's more direct in front and not kicking into the face of the breeze, and that should give him a little bit closer, also a better chance to kick a goal.
Oh, the breeze gets it. It must be pretty strong out there. That's blown away and goes out of bounds on the full. And that's like the problem that the Demons had in the first quarter. Well, that's 7 on the full so far in the match. That's most unusual. As back into play she comes. The long kick by Spalding back towards the centre half back position, and Steins goes up and takes the mark. 13 minutes gone in the second quarter. Charles and Hunting scoreboard. Melbourne taking control, but they can't really get a break on the scoreboard. They're 4-7-31 to Brisbane 3-1-19.
Windsor of the Bears takes the ball right in the centre, goes back towards centre half forward, but big Jimmy Steins is in the way once again. He's on the 50-metre defensive line, swings it out towards Todd Viney on centre wing, and Viney misses a sitter. Doesn't take that one, but he tries to recover now, just keeps it in play, but he's tapped it back towards the Bears. Richardson, who takes a hand pass from Hardy. Richardson now swings it across towards centre half forward, but in the way is big Spalding of Melbourne. Spalding still on the 50-metre defensive line. He too keeps it round the members' side of the ground. Looks for Jay Viney, but it's tapped down by Wern. Taken by the little fellow in Bain, who hand passes across to Richardson. Richardson towards Taylor at centre half forward. Taylor comes out. It's punched away from that player. Taken by Spalding of Melbourne. Drives it back towards the centre wing and taken by Gastev, who goes straight across the ground. Intercepting it is Flintoff. Done well since quarter time. Hamilton coming on. Flintoff goes straight down the ground. Leslie backs these judgment. Great defensive work by Martin Leslie. Trapped the ball beautifully. Puts the ball out to Walsh on his own. It was left by Flintoff, and now Walsh sees the ball back towards Zanotti. Zanotti's got Davidson further on his own, but poor play by Zanotti once again, and we see Flintoff take possession. And so it's taken this time by Lyon. Lyon goes short, got Campbell. Campbell's got Jackson down the ground, completely clear. Well-placed kick by Campbell, and Ricky Jackson has taken it, and Mark Zanotti could be taken off the ground now because he's made some bad errors, and if you take O'Keefe off for making an error, then surely Zanotti has his marching ticket coming right now.
Well, so the runner's out there, but I don't know if you'll take him off.
Ricky Jackson it is, and Jackson towards goal is across the face of goal and through for 1 point. Well, I don't agree with taking players off for making mistakes, Robbie. You finish up with a team not prepared to do anything.
Well, that's right. I think some coaches use it as discipline, but I'm against it myself.
4-8-32 Melbourne, Brisbane 3-1-19 to Charles and Hunting scoreboard. They go short. Here's a chance for Jackson again. He's 40 metres out directly in front. Will he fire for snap? He has. He put it through, made amends. Too easy. The short pass coming unstuck from the kick in.
Doesn't it very often come unstuck, Smokey?
13 scoring shots to 4 now. They've doubled their score. Melbourne 5-8-38. Brisbane 3-1-19. Let's check some other scores. Collingwood, Peter Welch, have they resumed in the second quarter, Washer?
Yes, mate. We're going 5 minutes. They're well in control here as Barwick lines up for another one, but they're 4-9-33, leading St Kilda 2-1-13, and it looks like Barwick has kicked it too.
And what's the crowd like? Packed house?
Packed house, Smokey.
Ricky Barham, Geelong.
Yeah, clawing the way back. Essendon 14 points behind. Geelong 5-5-35, Essendon 3-3-21.
Simon.
Richmond 6-6, leading Richmond. Richmond 3-9 behind Fitzroy 6-6.
Long handball, Zanotti. Out to Windsor. Todd Viney down in the centre of the ground. Punched away strongly by Road. Down in the last line of defence. Good play by Road, but Todd Viney, it's the... Robbie's got the glass up. He hasn't moved. Looks like a leg injury of some description, and he is in a great deal of pain in the centre of the ground. A tragedy for Todd Viney, who's been a star for the Demons in recent weeks after overcoming some serious injury problems in the last couple of seasons. As we see Yates get a handball from Spalding and kick it back towards the centre. There must be 6 trainers there, looking like it might be a stretcher. The ball comes across to Todd's brother Jay. He kicks down towards centre half forward. Out comes Big Bennett. Bounces off the chest like a plum pud. Comes back towards stretcher. Short pass in. Healy couldn't hold the mark. Over the back it spills to Roberts. A few mistakes being made. His handball goes to Walsh. Handball for the umpire. No, he can't get a kick, Phillip. The kick comes out from Wern, out to Windsor. Windsor between wing and half forward. Down towards Merritt, who leads out in front. He got a bit of a shove, and if it's not a mark, it's a free kick. Merritt just inside 50 with the ball for the Brisbane Bears. And an absolute tragedy here for Melbourne, and Todd Viney in particular, who's worked so hard to come back after injuries, and he's gone down in the middle, and he's going to be taken off on a stretcher. So it'll be Phoebe coming back on for Melbourne as O'Keefe waits to come on. Tingay, Bobby. Yeah, they had caused me a few problems, thank you. Now we're going to have a hold-up with Merritt holding the ball while they get the player, Todd Viney, off on a stretcher. 17:45. Melbourne 5-8-38, Brisbane 3-1-19 on the Charlton Hunting scoreboard, and I know just how hard he's worked because I've
looks like
time
a
with him.
left knee that he was holding on to, and he did look to be in a lot of pain when he was lying on the ground there, and that's a big save for Todd Viney to have a lot of pain.
He made no attempt to try and get up even, Robbie, so he obviously knew he was in trouble.
Taylor is the player coming off for the Bears. O'Keefe will replace him, and Tingay has gone on for Melbourne. Will play... was going into the forward pocket by the look of it to be picked up by Welsh. Peter Welsh, the latest score from Collingwood.
Yes, Smokey, it's all over here, Smokey. Collingwood 6-9-45, leading St Kilda 2-1-13. And all Mickey Winmar and Jimmy Cracker want to do is fight.
It's amazing. Well, at least they're providing plenty of entertainment for you. Ricky Barham, Geelong.
He's a ripper, Welsh. 5-5-35 Geelong, Essendon 3-5-23.
Simon Beasley.
Yeah, 17-minute mark, and Fitzroy kicked away there. 7-6-48, leading the Tigers 3-9-27.
And here comes Roger Merritt trying to post the first score for the second quarter for the Brisbane Bears. He's going to kick from round about the 50-metre line into the breeze. It's a strong cross breeze blowing to the small scoreboard goal. He comes in. Danny Hughes gave him a bit of latitude. A beautiful kick by Merritt right to the goal line. Fisted down in front of the pack. Hardy slipped at the crucial moment. Gary Lyon comes in, chips the ball about 5 metres across to Danny Hughes, whose clearing kick comes out to centre half back, and a courageous mark taken by the Melbourne skipper, Mr. Sugar himself, Greg Healy.
Healy now from centre half back, puts the ball straight down the ground, looks for Eyesholt, but Davidson punches the ball away. Richardson gathers it in, gives it across to Zanotti. Zanotti back to Davidson. Davidson hand passes to Bain. Bain now from centre wing, chips the ball wide, looks for Wern. They're going all over the place, and it's a pretty big ground here at the VFL Park, and they're going to cover every little inch of it.
Well, I think that's their problem at this stage. They're just not using the ball to advantage and kicking the ball too short and across the ground. On occasions, they've kicked four kick-outs or 4 kicks before they got out of the 50-metre line. Now the kick-outs.
38-19, the Charlton Hunting scoreboard in favour of Melbourne. Davidson picks the ball up, hand passes towards Richardson. Richardson under pressure by Stretch, and he's tackled. Ashcroft throws the ball across there to a teammate, and Wern took the ball, but it was penalised by the umpire. The hand pass from Flintoff across now to Stretch. Stretch gives it on to Jimmy Steins. Steins goes down the ground, finds Jackson. Jackson plays on immediately, hooks it across the ground, looks for O'Dwyer, punched away by Leslie. Then Leslie puts the ball down, it rebounds back to Martin Leslie. He goes straight out across the ground, but it's Andrew Hobbs first there. Hobbs takes it in the forward pocket, hooks the ball back to O'Dwyer. Well-placed kick, but it's bounced just in front of him. Hold play on by the umpire. Jackson kicks it off the ground, and the goal umpire indicates that it's a soccer goal to Ricky Jackson, his third. 3 goals to Ricky Jackson to take Melbourne on the Charlton Hunting scoreboard to 6 goals, 8-44. Brisbane Bears 3-1-19, and Ricky Jackson certainly doing his job in that pocket.
Well, he's a live wire down in that forward pocket, and it's just what the Demons do. It's some pace down on that forward line, and now that Healy's back in their side, provides some extra ability on the ball to get the ball out of the centre, and now Flintoff playing on a wing is providing some drive to the middle of the ground as well.
Quarter time, VFA, a big game today. Werribee 6-7-43 lead. Dandenong 3 goals, 2-20 as Steins gets the tap at the centre bounce, but it goes to Wern of the Bears. Wern with a left foot kick to half forward looking for Ashcroft. Yates goes to ground, gives Ashcroft the opportunity. A hurried left foot kick down towards full forward. Road leading Hardy in the race for the ball. Hardy puts his body in. Can Road spoil? He does. He taps the ball away. Gathers. Beautifully done by Peter Road. Gets the handball back to Danny Hughes. Well played. Long kick by Hughes out of defence. A bit of a nudge by Walsh on Flintoff. No free kick paid. The ball is shovelled back towards Walsh. He gets the hand pass across to Gastev. Gastev with a little left foot kick to Bain, who puts his arms up and takes the mark near the point of the square in attack for the Brisbane Bears. 6-8-44 to 3-1-19 on the Charles and Hunting scoreboard as Bain gets around the man on the mark. Opston kicks down and it's a good mark taken by McIver over the top of Lovett. About 30 metres out from goal, almost directly in front, and even though it's a strong cross breeze and the Bears are going into it this quarter, McIver should be able to score from that
left foot
position.
Kick as well. I think he should be in a fine position here to have a decent shot for goal and should put this one through.
Okay, so Scotty McIver, the Bears haven't scored so far in this second term, which has been going for 22 minutes and 15 seconds, as he takes the shot on goal, and it's curling, but it's beautifully done. The experience and class in that kick from Scott McIver, and he registered the Brisbane Bears' first goal for the quarter. The Bears 4 goals, 1 at 25. Down by 19 points on the Demons, who are 6-8-44 on the Charles and Hunting scoreboard. The Saints been able to score. Peter Welsh at Victoria Park.
No, Smokey, not at all. Collingwood 7-10-52, leading St Kilda 2-1-13.
Ricky Barham, how are the Bombers going down there?
They're a goal behind now. 8 of a slight breeze. 5-5-35. Geelong Essendon 4-5-29.
And finally to Simon Beasley at Princes Park.
20-minute mark, and Richmond are playing like a rabble. They're 3-9-27, trailing the Lions 8-6-54.
Centre bounce. It was won that time by Steins. Steins got the ball down, and we see Melbourne going forward as little Healy put the ball there, but it's straight to Gastev. Doing a good job for the Bears. But again, they go across the ground. This time, Davidson takes possession. He decides to go long. Looks for Schenko. Schenko was up. Didn't take the mark, or he might have been paid the mark. But it'll be a free kick anyway, and Bigashenko has the ball. And he changes direction and goes across the ground again. It's taken this time by Ashcroft. Slips over, but gains possession again. Puts the ball forward, but it's straight to Melbourne, and Lovett takes it. Breaks the tackle from McIver. Goes straight in towards the centre of the ground, and the mark is taken by Stephen Tingay. Tingay of Melbourne has the ball inside the centre square. Kicks from the defensive side of the centre square. Slipped as he put boot to ball and hooked it out towards centre wing. Leading in the race for the ball and taking it well as Gastev. Gastev spears the pass out in front that time of Merritt. Merritt plays on immediately, slips over, hand passes over his head. Merritt puts the ball towards Ashcroft. Ashcroft can't gun it the first time, picks it up well, hooks it back, looks for McIver, but he was over the boundary line before he got boot to ball. That was Ashcroft, and we find the boundary umpire about to throw the ball in 55 metres out from the Bears' goal. 6-8-44 Melbourne, 4-1-25 Brisbane Bears. Charles and Hunting 3AK scoreboard is from the tap out. It goes over the boundary line again, about 10 metres further away from the Bears' goal, and we'll find another throw-in to take place. Half forward flank for the Brisbane Bears. They trail 25-44. We're 30 seconds away from time on as a free kick has been found, and it'll go the way of Melbourne, and the big Jimmy Steins will take the free kick from that throw-in. So Steins will take it at half-back, with the Melbourne leading 44-25.
Yes, the Bears led by 3 points at quarter time, but the Demons up by 19 points as Steins from half-back kicks the ball towards the wing. Up goes Ishenko, almost uncontested. Too easy. Gets the hand pass away to Reynoldsson. Reynoldsson off the left boot. A pretty scrubby old kick down towards centre half forward. Here's a chance for the Bears. It's Windsor coming through. The tackle put on Danny Hughes, but a long hand pass comes out to Healy. Healy on the defensive side of the circle, kicks to centre half forward. Up high was Bennett, couldn't hold the mark. Spills to Gastev, crumbing well. He gets the hand pass across to Wern. Wern a hand pass out towards Richardson, but Stretch cuts him off. Good play by Stretch. Foot pass in towards Ricky Jackson, just goes over his head as Withers comes in and is content to see the ball go out of bounds as boundary umpire Hammond signals that the ball is out. About 52 metres from the behind post. Down at right half forward for the Demons. Melbourne going to the small scoreboard goal in this second term lead, 6-8-44 to the Bears, 4-1-25. Dwyer against Ishenko, down to Withers, hand ball out to Richardson, who gives it out towards Bain, and Bain is content to knock it away and send it across the line and out of bounds, and the Bears gained about 20 metres from that exchange. So the ball pushed out further from the Melbourne goal, almost a minute of time on played in this second quarter. The ball down to Eichhold. He tries to knock it forward, does so to Obst. Obst gets a quick kick, and it's back towards the boundary line. Close to the line, Bain picks it up, runs it over, and it's back to where we started from. 26 minutes and 10 seconds as Hart is about to come on for the Bears, and Windsor goes off the ground. Here's a chance. The hand pass comes from Wern across to Richardson. Good handball to Bain. Bain running out of defence. Kicks the ball back towards the wing. Tapped down by O'Keefe. In goes Jay Viney. Got a bit of a shove in the back. No free kick there. All over him. And umpire Mitchell says, give the ball to me. Pretty easy option, that one. And he's going to bounce it up just a metre or two in from the boundary line on the wing on the member side. Melbourne a 6-8-44. Brisbane 4-1-25. Almost half-time here at Waverley. Peter Welsh, how are the Saints going down there at Victoria Park?
Saints are making a little bit of a push forward, but I don't know how good it's going to be. But Collingwood 7-12-54, St Kilda 2-1-13.
And Ricky Barham at Geelong.
Yeah, Essendon just hit the front for the first time. 5-6-36, 1 point up on Geelong, 5-5-35.
And 5 to Simon Beasley. Thank you, Simon.
Fitzroy, 8-7-55, leading Richmond 3-10-28.
There's a hip and shoulder that time from Eishold. Got rid of Davidson. Davidson a bit groggy at the moment. Just staggers away from the CUB logo, and out of it all, Eishold has the free kick. Eishold elects to go long. Well, it could have been a free kick to Bennett, who was being held, but Melbourne still go forward. Ricky Jackson accepts the hand pass from Healy, and Jackson has brought up his 4th goal. 4 goals to Ricky Jackson. Melbourne on the Charles and Hunting 3AK scoreboard. 7-8-50. Double the Brisbane Bears score. 4-1-25.
It was just what I was talking about before, the roving combination that Melbourne's needed back in their side, and Healy roved that one off the pack and shot out a good handball. He could have had a shot, but saw that Jackson was a couple of yards wider, clearer than what he was, and Jackson steadied and put through his 4th goal, and playing an exceptional game as a rover and a forward pocket.
Ball back in the centre with umpire Chris Mitchell. Oshenko to go against O'Keefe. O'Keefe gets the tap. O'Keefe. Thank you, Bobby. There's the kick by Obst. The ball punched away by Leslie. But here's Healy again. Beautiful handball to Eishold. Open goal. The long kick by Eishold. And he's put it through. Another goal to Melbourne. Goal umpire Terry Seatrick down there having a good look at that one. And Simon Eishold pops it up, and very effective handball from the Melbourne skipper again. So the Demons have kicked right away there. 8 goals, 8-56. Leading the Brisbane Bears 4-1-25 on the Charles and Hunting scoreboard on 3AK football.
Well, I've talked about the little fellas, the Melbourne side, and again, Healy got the handball out. But the big guys as well for Melbourne are important to the lineup, and O'Dwyer and Steins both performed reasonably well today, whether it be O'Dwyer in the ruck or whether he be in the forward pocket.
31 points the margin as O'Dwyer wins the tap out again, and once again Healy takes the ball out of the centre, goes straight down the ground, it bounces over the head, it's tapped down towards Steins. Another goal coming up as Steins accepts that tap on from Bennett, and big Jimmy Steins has put it through for another goal to Melbourne. Steins first takes Melbourne to 9 goals, 8-62 on the Charles and Hunting 3AK scoreboard, with Brisbane Bears 4-1-25. Good teamwork again. O'Dwyer to Healy.
O'Dwyer to Healy down, and I think Bennett may have been a little bit fortunate because he did wait behind it. The ball bounced over it. He didn't take control of the ball. He tapped it out to the running Steins, and Steins, acting as the rover, kicked the goal.
Reynoldsson was a bit half-hearted in his approach at the ball, though.
Well, he did. He took the gamble, but only a half gamble. He went each way and didn't smother the ball or attack it too hard at all.
He who hesitates. The ball has bounced. It's O'Dwyer getting the tap again towards Gary Lamb, but it's taken by Davidson for the Bears, who kicks towards half forward. Here's a chance for Melbourne. The hand pass comes across from Jay Barney to Healy. Healy goes for a short pass to Flintoff. Flintoff marks between the wing and half forward on the outer side. Time for one more for the Demons? Perhaps not. 30 minutes gone, second term. The kick in towards centre half forward. Leslie, the front position, will be paid a free kick for over the shoulder. Steins interfering.
Bit of time because of Todd Viney going off there, Smoke.
Yes, thank you very much indeed, Bobby Skilton. Leslie playing on. Off the right boot, kicks it wide. Hart is out there for the Bears, but well spoiled by Flintoff. Tackle good by Hart. The ball spills. Here's a chance for Melbourne through Jay Viney in towards half forward. Tapped away by Roberts. It comes to Wern, whose handball goes to Withers. Thank you, George. And the siren has sounded. It's half-time at Waverley. And let's check the score. Big quarter for Melbourne going with the Breeze in that second term. They've scored 7 goals, 4. To the Bears, just 1 solitary goal. So Melbourne, who trailed by 3 points at quarter time, go in at half time with a commanding lead of 37 points. They kicked 3 goals in 3 minutes there in time on. Melbourne are 9 goals, 8. 62, and the Brisbane Bears are 4 goals, 1-25. 9-8 to 4-1. The Demons lead by 37 points, and that second quarter lasted a total of 30 minutes and 32 seconds. And Stephen Phoebe, not so serious, but a shoulder injury, no further part in today's game. Simon Beasley, you weren't too impressed with the Tigers in that first half.
Nice, Mike. Very disappointing after quarter time because they opened up with a flurry. They kicked the first 2 goals of the game. They were kicking against a 2 or 3 goal breeze. The Fitzroy side kicking down to the big scoreboard end certainly had a lot going for them, but there's a few Richmond players who started with a big bang. Michael Mitchell lined up on a wing playing on young Michael Gale, and Gale certainly had his hands full because they were playing wide of each other. Gale got a few possessions, but Mitchell's one of those players that needs to be picked up, and he was certainly giving the Tigers plenty of drive, and he had 3 or 4 shots for goal in that first quarter. Kicked 1 goal, 3 behinds, but no, Richmond unfortunately just couldn't go on with it, and the Fitzroy running players came into the game and they moved the ball into that forward line in the first quarter, and they ended up having a 2-goal lead at quarter time, and Richmond kicking with the aid of the breeze in the second quarter. You would have expected them to be competitive. They came out and they had 4 shots at goal in the first 5 minutes, but unfortunately they weren't able to convert. They were all points, and from that point on they seemed to drop their bundle, the Tigers, because the Fitzroy players got right on top, and they moved the ball into the forward line, and Ross Lyon, who came on just before the quarter time break, he gave the Fitzroy players a moving target up forward, and he kicked 2 very strong goals. And young Darren Wheeldon at full forward, playing on Anthony Bannock, he also kicked 3 goals, and Bannock just a little bit short for Wheeldon. Wheeldon moving around and providing a good target, but a lot of undisciplined play by some of the Richmond players. Tim Powell at one stage, a big run down the ground. Your favourite man, Smokey the Strutter. He's got a lot of dash, shows a lot of dash, Tim Powell, but one particular instance he moved from centre-half back to centre-half forward, and it kicked the ball straight to a Fitzroy guy, and unfortunately just not disposing of the ball, finishing off his work, and Richmond were very undisciplined in a number of situations there.
Okay, Simon, we've just started here at Waverley, so we'll get back to you, and well, let's hope the Tigers can make a game of it for you in the second half. About 50 seconds gone as Obst was tackled. The Demons had the ball into attack, and again we saw a shot from Sporting taken by the breeze and go out of bounds on the full. So Melbourne with 18 fit players, no Todd Viney, no Phoebe, and Bobby, it looks like young Davidson, who was a pretty good player for them in the first half, is off. He had 8 kicks, 4 marks and 9 handballs to half-time from Ray Stats.
Did cop a heavy knock in that second quarter, Smoke.
And there's the kick by Richardson towards the wing, punched away by Campbell from Taylor. Campbell now playing in defence. He gets it down to Stretch off the left boot, in towards centre-half forward, punched away by Withers from Jackson. The ball kicked off the ground across where Leslie has been paid the mark at centre-half back, taking the front position over Steins. Melbourne at 9-8-62, leading Brisbane 4-1-25. The kick by Leslie back towards the centre. Oshenko breaks, gets out of a tackle, but the tackle was high, says the umpire. And he gets the quick hand pass away towards Walsh. Walsh with a foot pass that it's marked by Taylor, as Gary Lyon has come down there now. And Taylor fires the ball up to half forward. McIver sees it run away from him and bounce over the line and out of bounds for a throw in at right half forward. 2 minutes gone, third term. The Synovus Vitamin scoreboard, and Melbourne at 9-8-62, Brisbane 4-1-25.
Throw in at half forward for the Bears. In the front position was O'Keefe, punched away by O'Dwyer, picked up that time by Ashcroft. The quick hand pass accepted by O'Keefe, who puts the ball forward. Hardy can't take it, and we find the Bears picking it up and through Merritt. Merritt a hand pass. Stretch pushes Richardson right in the back, right in the goal square, and Mike Richardson of the Brisbane Bears will take the free kick right on the 10-metre line, and so he's directly in front. 10 metres out. Well, you kick from about 15, but should have no trouble in bringing up the Bears' 5th goal. At the moment, it's 4-1-25 to 9-8-62, as it was at half-time, and with almost 3 minutes gone in this third term, Mike Richardson comes forward and puts it through for the Bears' 5th goal. Synovus Futterman's 3-8K scoreboard. Brisbane Bears 5-1-31, exactly half the score of Melbourne, 9-8-62.
Well, the Bears have got the ball down into the forward line, and it's still not that fashion that comes down where it's a smooth transaction. It comes down in a short, jagged fashion, and Richardson running into the open goal after good play by Merritt, the handball, the ball over his head, copped the one in the back from Stretch and really made no mistake, but they've got a long way to go before they catch the Demons with the score on the board, really now only halfway there.
Back in the centre with umpire Mitchell. He bounces. Oshenko against O'Dwyer. And the ball tapped out to Walsh. Walsh gets a quick hand pass. Gary Lyon leading in the race for the ball. A left foot kick gets at the boot very quickly, and he puts it over the line and out of bounds. Gary Lyon in the first half had 8 kicks, 2 marks and 2 handballs. Andrew Obst was the best for the Demons with 11 kicks and 3 handballs. Greg Healy 10 and 6. Jimmy Stones had 10 kicks, 2 marks and 2 handballs, and Stretch 9, 3 and 2. Bain for the Bears 9, 1 and 5. Leslie 8, 3 and 3, and Gastev 8, 4 and 4. Ball kicked a half forward for the Demons. Out comes Leslie, takes the mark on his chest, plays on with a handball to Walsh. Walsh off the left boot, across the centre. McIver and Lovett going after it. McIver leading in the race for the ball. The bouncing ball is going away from them. Lovett right on his hammer. McIver pushing the ball. Lovett does it very well because he runs it out of bounds. McIver suggesting that perhaps the ball had gone off the boot of the Melbourne player. But boundary umpire Alan Hammond right there says, I'll throw it in, boys. And he's going to do that at left half forward for the Brisbane Bears.
So the throw in with O'Dwyer to do the ruck work from Melbourne. Over the top comes Taylor. O'Dwyer wins the tap out, but it's the Brisbane Bears who take it through Ashcroft. O'Dwyer then taps the ball forward. It's taken by Yates. The short kick in towards the centre. Bain takes it. He's well tackled. Gets the hand pass, but it goes straight to the opposition. And Greg Healy. Healy puts the ball forward, but on the logo it's marked by Ashenko, who hand passes immediately. Gives it out. In towards the centre it comes. Gastev takes the ball after the kick came across the ground from Wern. Gastev puts the ball forward, and O'Keefe has taken the mark. O'Keefe with his opponent, Jay Viney, and Viney being brought back on the mark, and O'Keefe now elects to go long down towards the pocket. Merritt out in front, can't quite take the mark. He taps the ball back, keeps it in play temporarily, but it bounces over the boundary line before Andrew Taylor can take possession. 31-62 in favour of Melbourne. Just over 5 minutes have gone in this second term. Synovus Spiderman's 3AK scoreboard. From the throw-in, O'Dwyer taps the ball down. It's kicked off the ground by Campbell of Melbourne. Back towards the half-back line. Tingay first on the scene. Can't gather it in. Walsh is there. Both players lose possession. Taps it over the boundary line, Philip Walsh. So a throw-in to take place 60 metres out from the Brisbane Bears goal. And they trail 5-1-31 to Melbourne 9-8-62. Synovus Spiderman's 3AK scoreboard.
Boundary umpire Sutton puts it back into play. Tapped out the back to Tingay, but his handball goes to Tarter of the Bears. Tarter with a hurried left foot kick. Waiting for it is Ashcroft. Oh, Yates comes over the top. The ball out the back to Hardy. Hardy a hand pass to Merritt running onto it. Merritt gets one too high too. His hand pass well smothered by Campbell, who kicks it off the ground. Comes out towards Bain. Bain at centre half forward for the Bears. Gets around one, gets around two, then goes for a dappy little foot pass. It's a beauty. Well done. He gets it out to O'Keefe, who marks in the forward pocket some 25 metres from goal. Good play by David Bain. Very quick acceleration. So at the 6.5 minute mark of the third quarter, David O'Keefe with an opportunity to post his first and the Brisbane Bears' 6th goal. Melbourne lead 62-31 as O'Keefe comes in, and the goal umpire doesn't move down there, Alan Grant, and he's put it right through the centre. Beautiful kick there by David O'Keefe, and a good goal that to the Brisbane Bears. They move up to 6-1-37, trotting Melbourne 9-8-62 on the 3AK Synovus Vitamin scoreboard. I think they would have started again at Collingwood, but they certainly have at Geelong. Ricky Barham.
Yes, Cats kicked another goal. 7-7-49, Essendon 5-8-38, and it was Gazza Ablett again.
OK, that's 5 for Gary Ablett as we go to Princes Park and Simon Beasley.
Yes, and Fitzroy have opened up with a blaze in the third quarter. They're now 14-8 to Richmond 4-10. 92-34. Dale Waitman's just been reported, and also Richard Osborne reported by the boundary umpire for attempted striking. Dale Waitman sums up Richmond's afternoon. He tried to elbow a bloke, the end of him.
And the free kick goes to O'Dwyer in the centre of the ground. A left foot chip pass. Makes it hard for Simon Eishold as big Mark Roberts came in from behind, but Eishold still stood his ground and took the mark. Now with the left foot kick, he goes towards centre half forward. Bennett taps the ball over the back, but it's the Bears defence who take the ball away, and eventually we find it out towards Taylor on the centre wing as we find that the ball put forward by Philip Walsh, and Taylor limping as he goes back, and it looks as though he might have a bit of trouble kicking it as he really hobbling, and Flintoff coming over to cover Philip Walsh, and Taylor saying to the umpire, I can't kick the ball, gives it across to Philip Walsh, and Taylor now is going straight down towards the interchange. Ray Windsor will come on the ground, and Taylor limping down towards the interchange for the Brisbane Bears. Off to the centre wing. It's punched away by Lovett, taken by Stretch. He gives it out to Yates, who gives it back to Stretch. Stretch then with a left foot kick up towards centre wing. The diving attempt that time by Philip Walsh. Couldn't take the mark. Slides over the boundary line, and the throwing to take place on centre wing members' side of the ground. Off the ground now is Andrew Taylor, and he's limping towards the bench. So Steins this time takes the ball, hand passes on, comes out to a big fellow in Spalding. Short kick goes forward, hand pass across the ground, and Withers takes it there off Roberts. It's on behind players. So we see Zanotti take the ball forward and straight onto the chest of Marcus Ashcroft. I wonder, Smokey, whether Ashcroft used to barrack for Melbourne because he's a nephew of John Townsend, the former Melbourne Rover. And we find Merritt taking a lovely mark. Hand passes to Zanotti, and the runner has one bounce. Now another. Goes in, puts himself under pressure once again, runs too far, runs straight into an opponent, and he sees it go back towards the boundary line. Viney picks the ball up. Hand pass across to Campbell. Tried to do too much. He was well tackled by Windsor. The ball comes back to Merritt. Merritt hand passes, looking that time for McIver, but a free kick has been found, and it'll come back to Roger Merritt, who will have the kick 40 metres out. Well, 40 metres is where Tony Campbell will be, and he'll be on the mark. So Roger Merritt will have the shot at goal. So he does have the aid of whatever breeze there is coming in from this side of the ground. He'll have a fair amount of cover because of the stands. He's about 20 metres in from the boundary line, and only he'll be kicking from about 45 metres. On the mark, Campbell is just over or just under 40 metres out from goal. So Roger Merritt may not have kicked the goal himself, but he's had a hand in a couple. Won't kick a goal this time either as it goes across the face, but it's a lovely mark to Windsor, and the youngster Ray Windsor has taken the mark. He's only 9 metres out from goal. It'll be brought around on about a 45-degree angle, but still it will be a poor kick if he does not put it through from there. So Windsor, who just came off the interchange bench to replace the injured Andrew Taylor, and he'll have the chance of bringing up the Brisbane Bears' 7th goal. 62-37 as Windsor lines the ball up, and Ray Windsor favours the drop punt. The goal umpire hardly moves, and Windsor kicks his first goal to take the Brisbane Bears on the Synovus Vitamins 3AK scoreboard to 7 goals won, 43, 19 points down to Melbourne, 9-8-62.
Well, the Bears have had majority to play in this quarter, and the wind is deceiving out there. Merritt's kick actually drifted across the face of goal. But that was very poor defensive work by the Melbourne defenders there. There was at least 3 or 4 of them in position to spoil the ball, but not one of them got a touch to it, and a strong mark to young Windsor and put through a fine goal. And I think Northey would be very disappointed with the way this quarter's gone to date.
3 goals to the Bears, no score to the Demons in 11 minutes of play. Steins was there against Tashenko. Here's Zanotti. He's bluing with the coach. He had a runner sacked a couple of years ago of Johnny Hayes, our old mate. Through comes Danny Hughes. Oh, he runs his full measure, almost too much. He kicks to half forward, and Leslie, well, he's been uncontested marking across that half back line. Handball's out to Reynoldsson, who gives the handball to Gastev. Gastev kicks to half forward for the Brisbane Bears, looking for Merritt, who comes over the top of Gary Lyon. No mark. Picked up by Ashcroft. He drops the ball, or the ball slips through his fingers, and umpire Mitchell comes in and calls for a bounce down on our commentary position, and Merritt comes in and says well done to both McIver and Ashcroft. 11:50, third term at Waverley. Melbourne 9-8-62. Brisbane 7-1, 43 on the 3AK Synovus Vitamin scoreboard. Here's Ashcroft for the Bears. Kicking the ball up towards the 50-metre line. Merritt is leading Hughes in the race for the ball. He can't control it. Gets a bit of a shove from Danny Hughes. The ball spills, but Merritt comes back to it. Gets the hand pass to McIver. Well done, big fella. Foot pass in towards Little Hart. He gathers a bouncing ball. He passes back to Walsh with the high looper. He handballs it out to Richardson. Richo off the left boot, snaps towards goal. Goal umpire Grant gets underneath it. He's kicked the goal. Richo. He has. That's his second for the quarter. And the Brisbane Bears, they're 8 goals, 149. They're really taking it up to the Demons in this third term. Melbourne, 9-8-62, a 13-point lead to the Demons. 12.5 minutes third term on the Synovus Vitamin scoreboard. Terrific play by Merritt there, Robbie.
Oh, yes, he didn't show any pace. He just showed good judgment the way he went to the ball. And once he fell on top of it, the ball didn't go out of bounds. He was quick to his feet and got it back and shot the handball out.
Peter Welsh, what's the latest at Collingwood?
Yes, 4 minutes, Smokey. We got a goal to Collingwood. 11-14-80 is Collingwood to St Kilda 2-3-15.
Ricky Barham.
They've kicked 5 this quarter. Abbott's been sensational. 10-7-67 Geelong. Essendon 5-8-38.
Oh, the Bombers might be knocked off top spot, Ricky, as we go to Princes Park. Simon Beasley.
15-minute mark. Fitzroy 15-8-98, leading Richmond 5-11-41.
And Jimmy Steins grabs it out of the centre. His kick rebounds off an opponent and comes back to Flintoff. Flintoff places the ball down the ground. O'Dwyer couldn't take the mark. Withers picks the ball up. A quick hand pass to Leslie. It's run down by Eyersholt. Back it comes to Withers again. Withers almost throws the ball out of the pack. It comes to Hardy, now up there in defence. Hardy's hand pass across to Leslie. Leslie gives it to Gastev in the goal square, and he brings the ball around the members' side of the ground. A well-placed kick is taken by a young David Wern, who was marked just inside the 50-metre line. Wern, a good player for the Bears today, but that's a shocking kick, and it goes straight to the opposition in big Jimmy Steins. But the Bears in this quarter have kicked 4 goals. Melbourne have yet to score for the term. Steins goes short and finds Greg Healy. Healy is still about 65 metres out from goal. They're kicking into the breeze, and Healy places a nice kick forward, and it's punched away by Leslie, taken by O'Dwyer. Over the back of the pack, it's Campbell who takes it. Campbell shifted from defence back up to the forward line. He started this term in defence, but he's been swung back there again now, and he's swapped once more with Spalding, but Campbell offline that time. Melbourne's first score for the quarter, a minor score kicked by Tony Campbell, and that takes Melbourne to 9-9-63 with the Brisbane Bears 8-1-49. St Ober's Vitamin scoreboard as the short kick was taken by Bain. Bain goes across the ground. It's a hand pass from Reynoldsson back to Bain. Good play by Ricky Jackson, and Jackson is manhandled when he hasn't got the ball, so Bain lost possession, taken by Jackson with a free kick. Ricky Jackson of Melbourne goes short, out wide towards Flintoff, right in just inside the boundary line. Flintoff then swings the ball up towards the forward area. Too high that time for Campbell. Campbell comes back again. Leslie sees the ball taken out by Healy. Well smothered off the boot, thrown over the top, and we find Campbell taking it from O'Dwyer, picked up almost by Leslie. Leslie gets a push in the back, called play on, scrambly football. The Bears see Hardy pick it up, goes short across the ground to Gastev. Gastev from half-back puts it down towards the centre wing. He looks for Windsor, and Windsor doesn't let him down. He would have taken the mark, copped the free kick because he copped one in the back from Spalding, and Ray Windsor of the Brisbane Bears has it at half-back.
15-20 third term, St Ober's Vitamin scoreboard. Melbourne 9-9, Brisbane 8-1, 63-49. Demons in front by 14 points. Steins takes the mark under pressure, gets a handball away. He didn't have to Yates, whose kick will probably go out of bounds on the full. It does. Pretty poor play by the Demons, who this quarter
played on and called play on. 4
goals to a point. And you wouldn't think they were trying to get a big percentage build-up. Clever knock on by Merritt. Out the back to Ashcroft. He knocks it on. Here we go, the knots. One bounce off the right boot in towards full forward. Little heart behold. He's up high. Couldn't hold the mark. Kicked away by Rode. Out towards half-back on the other side. Stretch leading Richardson in the race for the ball. Picks it up and will drive the Demons out of danger. Down towards Tingay on the wing, but he on his fingertips couldn't hold the mark. Gastev comes in, and the ball has gone out of bounds for a throw-in, and Gastev has hurt what? Nothing much. He's okay. I thought he looked as if he stopped, as if he hurt his hand or arm, but boundary umpire Hammond puts it back into play. Good knock by Osenko. Out the back to Gastev. He gives the ball to Hardy with a hand pass. Hardy gets it out the Bain. He gives it to Gastev. Oh, his handball was too far for Zanotti. Through comes Spalding. He gives a hand pass back towards Healy. Healy off the AFL logo. Kicks in towards half forward. Up goes Reynoldsson. Good punch away. Kicked on the volley by Wern across here to the big fellow. And Ishenko kicks the ball up towards half forward, but the Melbourne defence standing firm. Lovett tackled a bit high. Gets the long hand pass out the stretch. Stretches on the wing. The Demons are struggling. They haven't kicked a goal so far in this quarter. Back towards Ishenko. He couldn't hold the mark. Hardy goes in. Paddles it away towards Walsh. Walsh gets tackled. He didn't have the ball, and he's got the free kick for that tackle. Melbourne fans don't like it. In fact, the ball's going back to Big Roberts. Goes with a short pass to Bain, who takes the mark just near the CUB logo. He's on the defensive side of the wing. Melbourne are 9-9-63. The Brisbane Bears 8-1-49. The kick by Bain. Up to half forward. A cruel bounce for McIver, taken by Jay Barney. He's tackled. The ball spills free to Big Merritt. He tries to barge his way through. Couldn't do so. Lovett a beautifully directed hand pass to Healy. Healy gives it on the stretch. Stretch will give it back to Jay Barney. Jay Barney from the wing. On the outer side, in towards half forward, but through comes Gastev for the Brisbane Bears. Gets it out to Bigashenko. He's too slow to get rid of it. Picked up by Eyersholt for Melbourne. Can they do something with it now? Eyersholt down towards Big O'Dwyer, but he's too slow. Leslie leads him to the ball and takes the mark in the back pocket.
Plays on immediately, goes across the ground. Withers is the player he's looking for, gets a favourable bounce. Withers has got 2 players on their own. It's Richardson and Hardy. Richardson marks, gives it to Hardy. He's had the luxury of 1 bounce. Down centre wing, places the ball out in front of Merritt, and Merritt takes a nice mark. Merritt is out at half forward, is about 65 to 70 metres out from goal. So Roger Merritt elects to go across the ground towards centre half forward. O'Keefe, the player he's looking for. It's punched away by Rode, taken by Yates. Windsor comes in over the shoulder of Yates, and Yates of Melbourne will take the free kick. He's midway between centre half back and full back, and Yates looks to the outer side of the ground and then looks across the members. Stutters forward, goes back again, taking plenty of time. Of course, they're kicking against the breeze in this quarter. They've played 18.5 minutes for the term at 63 to 49 as Yates goes forward with a nice kick and an equally good mark taken by Gary Lyon about 5 metres inside the defensive side of the centre square. Lyon plays on immediately, puts it out wide. Tingay goes a one-handed, couldn't take the mark, and Gastev swoops on the ball. Hand passes forward, looks for Richardson, gathers it in one-handed, then Richardson puts a shocking kick forward, straight into the arms of Jay Viney, who plays on immediately. He's got no one to kick to, though, so he goes to the boundary. It bounces over the line, and we'll see a throw-in take place on centre wing, outer side of the ground. Melbourne 9-9-63, Brisbane Bears 8-1-49, Sanova's Spiderman scoreboard.
Let's check the other scores. Pretty interesting down at Geelong in particular as we go to Collingwood. Peter Wells first up.
10-minute mark, Smoke. Collingwood 11-17-83. St Kilda 2-3-15.
Ricky Barr of Geelong.
20 points of difference. Geelong 10-7-67, Essendon 6-11-47.
And Simon Beasley, Fitzroy.
Fitzroy easily 15-10-100. The Tigers 6-11-47.
And a free kick to Merritt at centre half forward. Robbie Flower, what was that for?
Well, Denny Hughes manhandling behind the play, and the umpire was right onto it and has awarded a free kick. I think if the free kick wasn't given, the pass was spot on for him anyhow.
Merritt kicking from just outside 50 to the small scoreboard goal.
It was going to be Zanotti, that.
9-9 to 8-1. He comes in pretty close to the man on the mark. He winds up a beautiful long kick by Merritt, but it's just offline and through from behind, and he has been the only Bears player to kick behind. It's two of them now. They go to 8-2-50, just 13 points down on the Demons, who are 9-9-63 on the St Davis Spiderman scoreboard.
Not kicking well, Roger Merritt. Must be carrying an injury, I think.
Yes, he's not kicking really. He's kicking distance, but not with any authority with his kicks.
Lovett brings the ball back into play, but a free kick has been found to the Demons, and we'll find Gary Lyon to take the free kick. So Lyon at centre half back. Goes for the long kick, straight up the centre of the ground. Campbell's the player he's looking for. At the back was Ashenko, couldn't take the mark. It's punched forward. Ricky Jackson swoops on the ball. Goes down, looking for O'Dwyer, but in front is Leslie, who's played a fine game in defence for the Brisbane Bears. And Martin Leslie has taken the mark in front of Stephen O'Dwyer. And having a bit of trouble getting up off the ground because O'Dwyer's standing over the top of him, and Leslie has taken 8 marks in defence for the Bears. Gives it across to Gastev, was going to give it back to Leslie, but it's run down. Then it's kicked off the ground by Wern. Comes towards Richardson. Richardson gathers it in. He's tackled, is dispossessed. Picked up by Bennett. A hand pass across to Stretch. Stretch of Melbourne from 40 metres out. Hooks the ball back. No mark taken. At the back of the pack, we see it tap forward that time. And this time it's Withers who leads in the race for the ball. It picked up, goes towards the boundary line, and we find Walsh coming in. Can he beat it in? Yes, he does. Taps it in, but it bounces over the line then. Flintoff coming in to put pressure on Walsh. So over the boundary line it goes, midway between centre wing and half forward flank for Melbourne, who lead by 23 points. 63 to 50 as the tap out comes to Healy. Healy gives it over to Jackson. From 45 metres, Jackson goes goalward, but he's offline across the face and through for only 1 point. Ricky Jackson having 4 goals, 2 out of Melbourne. Sanova's Spiderman score of 9 goals, 10. 64 Melbourne, 4 goals ahead of the Brisbane Bears, 8-2-50. 24 points to margin, 22 minutes have gone in this third term. Sanova's Spiderman's 3AK scoreboard, as we find the Bears are Withers to bring the ball back into play. Goes long with the breeze, but straight to Melbourne once again. Steins misses the mark, but recovers. Takes it, hand passes forward to no one in particular. Hart took it, couldn't take it, then Gastev picks it up. A poor hand pass is accepted and taken out by Flintoff. The short kick from Steins. He was looking for Tingay. Through comes out Eishold. Eishold leads in the race for the ball. Falls over the top of it, then picks it up. Gets the hand pass in, was looking for Stretch. Steins takes it, hand passes forward. Healy accepts it, goes towards goal, but it's touched through. And so a poor kick by Healy. Was into the breeze, but he was off balance and only put it through for 1 point. Sanova's Spiderman's 3AK scoreboard, 9-11-65 Melbourne. No, it's coming back for a free kick, is it?
No, 9-11 as the ball is out the half-back. You're quite right, Bobby. The scoreboard very slow here these days to 8-2-50. And the ball at half-forward picked up by Yates for Melbourne. He handballs across to Healy. His kick smothered off the boot in towards the boundary line as Hart comes in and pops it over.
They still haven't changed it,
I think they may have paid a free kick down there right in the last line of defence.
Oh, as the ball went through, I think perhaps you're right. 9-10-64, OK, to 8-2-50. 14 points the margin on the St Overs Vitamin scoreboard. Boundary umpire Hammond back into play. Knocked by Campbell, taken by Jackson. He handballs back to Stretch. Stretch off the left boot. Long kick to full forward. Steins getting underneath it. He's got 3 to beat. Can't do it. Roberts takes the mark. He was blocked out pretty effectively. And big Jimmy Steins has got the mark in Jimmy Steins outnumbered there 3-1 as the kick by Roberts comes out and is marked by Reynoldskin. Peter Welsh, what's the latest score at Victoria Park?
Magpies 12-17-89, St Kilda 2-3-15.
Good, they still haven't kicked the goal. And Ricky at Geelong.
Yes, 11-8-74 Cats. Essendon 7-11-53.
Pretty good game.
As Ablett, ooh, I thought he'd marked it, play on.
As the ball is kicked by Tingate out of full forward, and Reynoldsson forces it through for a rush behind. So that'll take them up to 9-11. They've added just 3 behinds this quarter, the Demons, to 8-2-50. Simon Beasley, your score at Fitzroy.
Non-event Smokey, Fitzroy by 53 points. 15-12 to 6-11 Richmond.
And I did say 24 points before. It should have been 14. Now it's 15 points in favour of Melbourne as Leslie takes it, gives it to Gastev with a hand pass. Gastev brilliantly gets around Flintoff and then steadies, places the ball down towards half forward, but I love it. It's coming across the front of the pack, takes a timely mark. So Brett Lovett at half back, about 10 metres in from the boundary line, members side of the ground. Levitt puts it towards centre wing. O'Dwyer in front. Ashiko over the top, couldn't quite take the mark. Gets it down towards Walsho, who hooks the ball over the shoulder. Ashcroft comes through for the Bears and takes a nice mark. Ashcroft plays on immediately. He's got Zanotti running down the ground, but Road comes over the top. He left Hardy. Hardy taps the ball on. It's all Melbourne. Lovett telling Lyon exactly how he stands. Lyon picks the ball up, hand passes wide, gets it out towards Stephen Stretch. Stretch hand passes on to Viney. Viney from half back goes towards centre wing. Jackson out in front, takes the mark. Thought about going on, but he was tackled. Now Jackson gives a hand pass out, and we find the Demons through Jay Viney going forward. Too high that time for Stretch. Through comes Tingay. Can't take it. Now he gives a hand pass over the top. Tapped on by Eishold. That comes out towards Steins. Steins hooks the ball over the shoulder. Opston, Healy coming down the ground. Healy it was who took the vine mark. Stood his ground well. He knew that the player looked like Hart was coming, and we saw Healy keep his eye on the ball and take a courageous mark. So Greg Healy played pretty well today, Robbie.
He has played well, and he's got a chance to kick a goal there, although 40 yards out. But by the time the ball reaches a goal, it will be affected by the breeze which is blowing across that end of the ground.
Greg Healy has kicked the 1-goal-1 out of Melbourne's 9 goals 11. Greg Healy from directly in front. Kicks from just over 45 metres, and as Robbie Flower said, the breeze does take its effect, and it's gone through for 1 point. So 1 goal, 2 to Greg Healy. St Overs Vitamins 3AK scoreboard, 9 goals, 12-66. Brisbane Bears 8-2-50, 16 points to margin as Mark Withers will bring the ball back into play. Favours the members' side of the ground. The attacking side when you're kicking with the breeze, but Eishold in the front position takes a fine mark. Hand passes to Ops. He gives it to Flintoff. Flintoff goes forward. The little chip kick. No mark taken. Leslie takes the ball away again. The long hand pass taken by Walsh. Gives it over to Bain. Bain over the top to Wern. Wern back to Bain. Just inside the boundary line. He hand passes forward, and we find Reynoldsson accepting it. Over the top it comes. Will it bounce favourably for Zanotti? Taps the ball forward. Goes on again. Gives it to Ashcroft. Ashcroft across the ground. Finds Walsh. Walsh then goes towards centre half forward. Windsor out in position to mark, and he's taken the mark 55 metres out from goal. O'Keefe leads to the pocket. Windsor ignores that, and he goes long straight down the ground. And O'Keefe in position. Hardy's there as well, but O'Keefe has taken the mark. A fine mark, 8 metres out, and he'll be on about a 45-degree angle as he lines up. But there's been a couple of goals kicked from that position in this quarter. So the Brisbane Bears in this term has so far added 4 goals 1, whilst Melbourne have added 4 behinds. Will it be 5 goals 1, and the margin only 10 points? So David O'Keefe has the ball, and on his mark at the present is Lovett of Melbourne, Brett Lovett. But O'Keefe goes goalward and has put it through for full points. So, no, he swung it through. I thought you were signalling 2 there, Smokey. 2 hands, 1 point only, and David O'Keefe has put it through. A bad miss by O'Keefe, so the margin, once again, 15 points.
And on the St Overs Spiderman scoreboards, Melbourne 9-12-66, Brisbane 8-3-51. We'll just check the score at Geelong, where it could be a big upset. Ricky Barham.
Time at Geelong, 12-8, 80, 27 points in front. The Cats, Essendon, 7-11-53.
That's three-quarter time. 12-8 to 7-11. Thank you very much. How many goals to Gary Ablett?
He kicked 3 that quarter and had a hand in 3 others. He's kicked 7 for the game.
Thank you very much. And he hasn't been playing full forward. Interesting.
Forward pocket.
Well, I mean, full forward in previous weeks. So, I mean, he's been all over the place, up the ground. The ball kicked in. Here's Lovett, though, taking it for Melbourne across the half-back line. He kicks it out towards the wing. Stretch and Hart. Collision. Both go to ground. Richardson comes in support of Hart. But Stretch does well to come back onto the loose ball. Well played by Stretch. He kicks it high, looking for Campbell. In comes Roberts to punch the ball away. Campbell tries to keep it in. Couldn't do so, and the ball is out of bounds on the wing. On the outer side. 28-45 gone, third term here at Waverley. And it's been a goalless quarter so far for the Demons. A pretty disappointing term by them. As a siren sounds, it's a goalless quarter for them, full stop there. 9-12, 66 at three-quarter time. They added just 4 points for that term. 9-12, 66. The Brisbane Bears, 8 goals, 3, 51. The Bears added 4-2. Much better term.
Right now, your Holden deal has great bonus deals on new Holdens.
$14,754.
So to get the best deal on a new Nova, twist his arm a little.
$390. How much? $17,940.
And for a newer Polo, twist a little more.
$15,990. That's better.
And for the best ever deal on Australia's top-selling car, you know what to do.
I want a great deal.
So if you want a great deal, twist your Holden dealer's arm today.
Where do millions of jets, helicopters, planes, trains and trucks go when they're low on fuel? The same place you do. BP. BP on the move.
There's only one way to say I love you. I long to see the laughter in your face. I can call you on the phone, but when it ends, we're still alone. I need to say I love you face to face.
At Australian, we believe our most important job is to bring people together. And if you're over 60, you can enjoy savings of 40% with our Senior Flyers Fare. We can even arrange airport taxi vouchers so that you can get to see each other just a little more often.
When you need to say I love you face to face,
you should see us now.
Another road, another long day.
See you later.
Still chasing the dream of that day.
So, perfect wave, eh?
Let's have a Coke.
Can't beat it.
Can you tell us where the waves are?
Hey, 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 you can't stop it. You can't stop it. You can't stop it. You can't stop it. Feeling you get when you find the real thing. Coca-Cola. You can't beat the feeling. You can't beat the feeling.
The AFL Football 1990 albums and stickers. The albums packed full of information on all the teams, their history, and the stars. Collect the stickers, swap the stickers. That's half the fun. When you have the whole set, you've got a fantastic souvenir of the season. The AFL Football 1990 album and stickers at your newsagent now.
Pushed the ball forward. O'Keefe also doing well in the forward line for the Bears, and their score in that quarter was greatly boosted by his work at centre half forward or across that half forward line with his long arms and marking ability. Melbourne tried Spalding at centre half forward, but the ball didn't get down to him, and Campbell, who was working in defence, wasn't doing the job there. So inevitable swap had to come back again, and Melbourne lost their drive through the middle of the ground with O'Dwyer really dropping or fading in that term, along with Jimmy Steins. But full credit to the Bears, the way their little players, Bain, Zanotti, and also Walsh across the centre line, with Leslie strong in defence and big merit in the forward line, capitalising with their opportunities, and now they find themselves 15 points down going to the last term and in with a chance.
Thank you very much indeed, Robbie. 9-12-66 Melbourne, Brisbane 8-3-51. We'll be back with the latest from Collingwood. Comment from Tommy on 3AK Football after the break.
In a world that's growing increasingly concerned with the environment, one area that's being scrutinised is energy consumption. Air conditioning plants are a classic example. Charles & Hunting, Australia's foremost variable speed drive manufacturer, can reduce energy consumption with their Task and Alton variable speed drive systems. Task offers zero maintenance and is the alternative to ordinary variable speed drives. If you move air, then Charles & Hunting's Task and Alton can save you money. Call them Monday.
Melbourne's expert commentary team, 1503 3AK.
And the latest from Victoria Park, Peter Welsh.
Still going here, Smoke, and we got Collingwood 12-18-90, St Kilda 3-5-23, and we're at the 25-minute mark.
And Tommy Laugh, Johnny Northey would have been very disappointed with that third quarter effort by the Demons.
He certainly would have, Smoke. He expected him to go a lot better than that. And on the other hand, the Bears played excellently. They used the ball well. They took it out of the back line. The small players were running. Merritt gave them something to kick to. And all around the ground, their football improved.
And the ball kicked on the volley by Wern up towards the wing. It's punched away there, though, by Yates. Richardson leading in the race for the ball. The first, this final quarter just underway as it's taken by Eishold. He handballs for Jackson. He waits for it to bounce. He gets the handball then across to Obst. Obst from half forward. A high kick floating in the breeze down towards full forward. Oh, two Bears players fly together, but the mark has been well taken by Roberts, the big fridge. Gets up, starts from in front of his mark with a long hand pass out to Hardy. One bounce, two bounces. Hardy takes it outside 53, loses it, can't find the handle, has to double back and pick it up. Does so, then gives a handball to Leslie, which was a shocker, made him stretch right up. Leslie forced to kick quickly, back towards the wing. Out comes Flintoff, well in front of his opponent Walsh. Kicks the ball back into attack for the Demons. Not a good kick under pressure. Towards the 50-metre line. Taken by Roberts. Handball to Gastiff. Handball to Leslie, who handballs to Reynolds, and who wants to handball, and he does to Bain. Bain is tackled. He handballs to Hardy. It's about 6 handballs, and they've taken the ball about 20 metres. Oshenko, he handballs to Hardy. Hardy runs around O'Dwyer. 2 bounces as he goes through the centre, and his foot pass goes straight onto the chest of Spalding of Melbourne. And he ignored the lead of Windsor. Unbelievable football in the first minute and a half of this final term. And Spalding will kick long down the ground looking for Steins, who cleverly knocks the ball on. Bounces nicely for Campbell. Campbell a short pass. Who's minding Ricky Jackson? He's got the measles. He marks 20 metres out from goal. Was about to hand pass over the top to Bennett, but then goes back and will have the shot at goal. He's kicked 4. The only Melbourne player to be a multiple goal scorer in the match. Have I got your money, Murray? 10,890, almost, I'd reckon. The kick by Ricky Jackson is through for a behind because it hits the goal post. I make it 4 goals 4 for Ricky Jackson of Melbourne's 9-13-67 to Brisbane 8-3-51. The Charles & Hunting scoreboard, a 16-point lead to the Demons. Peter Welsh, is the 3-quarter time yet?
No, Smokey. We still can't hit 28-minute mark. Collingwood 12-19-91. St Kilda 4-5-29.
As we find the Bears getting out of trouble temporarily as Richardson accepts the hand pass from Roberts, goes towards centre wing. Nobody home for the Bears though, and Stephen Stretch, with Brett Lovett doing the shepherding, has plenty of time to steady, places the ball down, and Tingay has taken the mark. He's just inside the boundary line, outside half forward. Tingay casually goes with a left foot kick across the ground. Too high for the players. Through comes Roberts, takes the ball well, bounces it across centre half back. Hand passes wide. The teammate out there takes it, and then Walsh gives it across to Bain. The speedy Bain has 2 bounces. runs over the logo, swings back again, hand passes towards Walsh. Walsh now comes out onto the right foot, the natural left foot kick, but Walsh puts it long down to the forward area. It'll be a holding the man free kick to go the way of the Demons. In the front position, Road has taken it. Road plays on immediately, thought about coming across the ground, but now puts the pass straight down the ground. Healy accepts it, plays on immediately, now is choosing to go for the long kick straight down the ground towards half forward. No mark taken. Through comes Withers, swings back onto the left foot. Withers goes in towards the centre. It's a poor kick, but it might be effective. The umpire's knocked over. He's bundled out of the way. Lovett takes it, gives it to Lyon. Lyon a hand pass across to Stretch. Stretch hooks the ball over the top. Jackson in front and reads the bounce well. Hand passes across to Healy. They've combined together well today. Bennett gets over, puts his D to the Leslie. Leslie's down. A hand pass comes over to Steins. Steins puts the ball forward. It bounces awkwardly, but it's beautifully taken by Campbell. Campbell gives it to Tingay. Tingay a hand pass missed by Bennett. A bad miss. Picked up by the big fellow in Roberts. His hand pass was smothered. It comes back to Campbell. Campbell snaps towards goal and has put it through for full points. Campbell of Melbourne kicks his first goal to take the Demons on the Charles and Hunting scoreboard to 10 goals, 13, 73. Brisbane Bears 8-3, 51, a margin of 22 points.
Some comedy of errors there, but finally ends up with a Melbourne goal. The Melbourne forward line is not working at all well. Bennett is really sadly out of touch today. He can't get control of the ball. He's dropping his marks, and on that occasion when he had a chance, really didn't do the right thing, but Melbourne end up with a goal. And it's a sloppy type of goal, and some that John Northey wouldn't be pleased with.
Peter Welsh, three-quarter time yet?
It certainly is, Smokey, and we've got the Magpies by 68 points. We've got Collingwood 13, 19, 97, leading St Kilda 4-5, 29.
Thank you. The latest from Geelong, Ricky Barham.
15 points up as Geelong having a shot against the wind. I don't think Mark Yates will make the difference. 12-8, 80. Geelong, Essendon 8 at 9-11, 65, and he hasn't made the distance, but Billy Brownless is marked.
Okay, as McIver kicks in towards full forward for the Bears. The ball spills. Here's Richardson. He's got it. He gets a handball back. It's kicked quickly by Ashcroft in towards full forward. Through comes the Demon defence, Gary Lyon. He meets a hip and shoulder. The ball hand passed away by Lyon to Sporting. His whirl tackle, given plenty of time to get rid of it. Bain gets a bit of a shove. He's working to get rid of the ball, and umpire Mitchell says, give it to me. And now he might... no, he's still going to say, give it to me. The ball about 45 metres out from the goal that they're attacking at the main scoreboard end.
He'd be a little sore, Gary Lyon. I think that was a hip and shoulder from Roger Merritt.
Just stopped him in his tracks. Merritt is who gets the... fist of the ball. It goes to Sporting now at Melbourne. He kicks out of defence. Good play by Walsh to tap it away from Flintoff. Goes down to Lovett, whose handball comes across to Yates. Yates across the half-back line. His clearing kick, a poor one. Clean bowls Hart, clean bowl Steins. Comes to Leslie, who handballs to Bain. Bain gives it back to Walsh. Walsh kicks down looking for and finding his captain Merritt, who marks about 55 metres out. The Bears still playing, really having a go. They're 22 points down at the 6-minute mark of the final term. On the Charles and Hunting scoreboard, Melbourne at 10-13 to 8-3. Lead by O'Keefe, overrun. Ball spills out, taken by Bain. His looping handball comes to Hart. Long handball, Hart out to Werner's on his natural left foot. He'll drive it deep into attack. It's covering a fair bit of distance, that kick down towards full forward, but it's stumped away by Big Strawberry O'Dwyer. The crumb's taken away by Melbourne's Captain Healy. He gets it across to Yates. Yates with a foot pass. He's looking for Steins. He got a shove. Couldn't take the mark. Good running by Lovett to run onto a handball. Then he gets it back towards Gary Lyon. He got an awkward bounce. Richardson's tackled him. He's gone to ground. Still got the ball. Play on, says the umpire. As Zanotti comes in, the ball spills. There's a tackle on, is it Steins? The ball is kicked back, but it goes straight to Leslie. Leslie kicks it wide for Merritt. Gee, he must have the measles now because Danny Hughes won't go near him. The hand pass comes to Ashcroft. Over the top to Richardson. Loose man set up. Well, Richardson now he pops the pass in. That's okay. And it's marked by O'Keefe, but he's fairly close to the boundary line down there in the right forward pocket. Only about 20 metres out, but the angle quite acute in the right forward pocket. 7-10 final term. And Melbourne 73 lead Brisbane 51 by a margin of 22 points. The Magpies thrashing St Kilda at Victoria Park. The tight one will be at Cardinia Park, Geelong and Essendon. Here's the kick by O'Keefe. Good looking shot at goal by the former Geelong player, but it's just offline and through from behind. So David O'Keefe has kicked 1-2 of the Bears' tally of 8 goals for. Melbourne is 10-13-73, Brisbane 8-4-52, 7:42 gone final term, Charlton Hunting scoreboard. Ricky Barham, the latest score from Cardinia Park.
15 points still the difference. 12-8-80 Geelong, Essendon 9-11-65, but they're into attack.
And across to Princes Park, as a mark taken here by Roger Merritt, but he's given the free kick away, and it will go to Jay Barney. Simon Beasley.
Yes, Fitzroy still leading 15-15, 105 to Richmond, 9-12-66.
Jay Varney of Melbourne from the last line of defence places the long kick out towards half-back and trying to punch it on as Dwyer doesn't get much distance, and Ashcroft forces the ball forward. He sees Bain pick the ball up, the busy player in David Bain towards centre-half forward. The Melbourne defence stumped the ball out. It's taken by Andrew Ops. Ops towards centre wing. Leslie, who's been a fine player for the Bears, first on the scene, gathers the ball in well. Hand passes back towards Zanotti. Zanotti takes it. Hand passes immediately to Roberts. Roberts comes across the ground with a nice pass and finds Richardson, who I think thought about going on, but coming in and manning the mark is Stephen Stretch, so that Richardson could not play on. Richardson from the centre of the ground puts it towards the lead, that time coming from McIver. A well-placed kick. McIver takes the mark. Gastev running down the wing, but now he gets the lead this time from O'Keefe, who can't quite get to it, and Melbourne's defence again through Jay Viney. Out towards centre wing, punched away from Gary Lyon by Zanotti, and we find Melbourne being beaten in the race for the ball, but Walsh cannot take the ball before the boundary line, over the boundary line at half-forward flank, outer side of the ground. Melbourne 73, Brisbane Bears 52. The Charlton Hunting 3AK scoreboard as O'Dwyer wins the tap down. Back over the boundary line it goes. Another throw in almost an identical position. So O'Dwyer comes back to compete again against Alex Ashenko. Ashenko and O'Dwyer jostled for position, and this time O'Dwyer again gets the tap. And Melbourne cannot get the ball clear, though. It comes back to O'Dwyer. Zanotti dived over the top. Ashcroft got the ball out for the Bears. Up towards half forward. Through comes the McIver. The loose ball comes out for Melbourne, though, and Ricky Jackson from half-back puts it towards centre wing, and the mark has been taken by David Wern. On the opposite side of the ground, it's on the outer. Wern plays on, drives it long towards centre half forward. Merritt in front, can't quite take the mark. It comes back to Merritt. The McIver's there also, but through comes McIver's opponent in Lovett. A nice hand pass. He got copped the hip and shoulder as he did so. Out towards centre wing. Walsh wins possession. Hand passes back to Wern of the Bears. Wern steadies, places the short kick. Bain's there again for the Bears. Plays on immediately after taking the mark. Bain goes long down towards the forward pocket, and the Bears have taken yet another mark, and it's Roger Merritt, 40 metres out from goal. 73-52, 19 points the margin. The Bears doing plenty of attacking, but they can't put a goal on the board. Kicking into the breeze, goals have been hard to come by, and down at the big scoreboard into the ground today. And so Roger Merritt kicks from just inside the 50-metre line, goes for the goal square. McIver's up and takes the mark, plays on immediately, snaps truly, puts it through, and the Bears have added 6 more points with McIver's goal. McIver has kicked 2, 1 in the second quarter, 1 now in the final term, and Brisbane Bears go to 9-4-58. The Charlton Hunting 3AK scoreboard with Melbourne 10-13-73. The margin now 15 points.
Well, Melbourne really don't look like a side that want to go forward and increase their percentage to make sure they stay in the final 5 for a fact. But the Bears have worked their ball well, really, in that forward line, and they've had the opportunity. It's only a matter of time before they took that opportunity and scored a goal. And McIver dropped the mark at the last moment, but recovered and kicked a good goal.
Steins rucking as though Dwyer goes to full forward. Bennett coming out the centre half forward. Umpire Mitchell says, give it to me. Ricky Barham at Cardinia Park. What's the latest and time played, Ricky?
Dead level, 15-minute mark. Michael Werner shoots for goal and has kicked it. Essendon 6 points in front there. 12-13-85. Geelong 12-8-80.
Okay, shut the gate down there as it's McIver kicking a ball across towards the wing on the outer side. Here's the mercurial Stretch leading in the race for the ball, but Bain's got as much pace as him, but he kicks it off the ground. And it doesn't go out on the full, it lands just inside the line.
It would have been bad luck.
Yeah, 12 minutes gone, final term. Simon Beasley, the latest score from Princes Park.
Yes, we're at the 10-minute mark. It's Fitzroy 15-16, 106, 40-point leaders over Richmond, 9-12, 66.
And Campbell contesting, but Ashenko gets it down to Bain. Bain with a quick hand pass across to Roberts. Roberts up towards half forward. Merritt got a shove. The umpire saw it. Danny Hughes infringing. The Demon fans over there weren't too impressed. Advantage rule played. It comes up towards young Windsor and Spalding. Picked up by Windsor now as Spalding goes to ground. A hurried kick touched off the boot, says the umpire. Hardy's got it. He tries to get a hand pass over to Richardson. Richardson under pressure. Tries to get it back to Hardy. Good play by Lovett. Comes back to Hardy. The Demon defence under a lot of pressure as it comes out now to Yates. Yates in the back pocket. A long hand pass comes out towards Greg Healy from the 50-metre defensive line. He says, we'll stop this with a long kick. And he looks for Campbell, but he got a push in the back. He couldn't hold the mark, but that was a similar one as the Merritt one. Good umpiring, Chris Mitchell. He got a shove, which prevented him from taking the mark, and Tony Campbell gets the free kick up on the outer wing. 13-minute mark of the final term. The Demons are leading by just 15 points. 10 goals, 13-73 to 9-4-58.
Tapped over the back that time as we see Gastev in the front position, held when not in possession of the ball, and so the Bears will repel another attack as Gastev got one from Obst. I think it was an accident. I don't think Obst meant to run into him. Did you see that one, Robbie?
Yeah, it was an accident, but he really hit him.
So Gastev now puts it out towards centre wing. No mark taken, and the Bears in the van again as we see Little Bain overrun the ball that time, and so Danny Hughes picks it up, dives it back from whence it came, and Gastev has taken the mark. He's tripped and now gets a hand pass across now. Withers runs across the ground, places the ball across the ground with a kick. He's looking for Leslie, gets a favourable bounce, has plenty of time and has one bounce, draws the player to him, puts it over the top to Reynoldson. Melbourne going in slow motion as they chase the Bears this time. Reynoldson up towards the centre wing, and Hardy has taken the mark. Hardy is on centre wing, members side of the ground, so Brad Hardy puts the ball long towards half forward. Merritt's there, too high, over the back it goes. It's tapped on by Jay Viney. He was looking for Stretch. Stretch couldn't take it, tapped it out wide. Melbourne's defence under pressure, but they're equal to the occasion. Lovett picks it up, and it's all Brisbane Bears, and Hart has taken the mark. Hand passes across to Brad Hardy. Hardy runs around an opponent and then puts the ball long down towards the goal square. It's dropping short, over the top. We find Walsh couldn't take the mark. That's Melbourne in the van again as it's picked up by Brett Lovett. Lovett hand passes, it's danger, it's in the square, and Jay Viney's happy to rush it through for one rush point to the Brisbane Bears to take the Charles and Hunting 3AK scoreboard to 9-5-59 Melbourne. Brisbane Bears, I should say, 14 points down to Melbourne, 10-13-73. Danny Hughes prepares to bring the ball back into play. I'll be surprised if he doesn't go long straight down the ground. And it's exactly where Danny Hughes goes. The beautiful kick from Danny Hughes into the centre square. A mark almost taken that time by Oshenko. It comes back towards that player. He's under the bottom of the pack and had no chance of getting the ball out. The ball actually chased him, and we'll find a bounce to take place.
15 minutes gone, final term, and Melbourne in front by 14 points. Peter Welsh, the latest from Victoria Park.
Mini revival by St Kilda. They've moved to 6-5-41 to Collingwood 13-19-97.
Ricky Barham.
Yes, 12-8-80. Geelong trailing by 7 points. Essendon 12-15-87. 16-minute mark.
Kicks to full forward. Here comes Richardson with a chance, but the ball taken by O'Keefe. His hand pass goes to Richardson, but it's out of bounds as we go to Simon Beasley at Fitzroy.
15-minute mark, no change. Fitzroy by 40 points. 15-16, 106. Richmond 9-12, 66.
Boundary umpire Sutton to put the ball back into play. Right forward pocket for the Bears. Steins goes up, gets it down in front of the pack. No one can break clear. The ball's now kicked out of defence by the Demons and close to the boundary line, and it bounces just before it goes over, and David Flintoff comes in, and so there'll be a throw. And I think that ball was kicked out there by Jay Viney. Back into play from boundary umpire Sutton, and a ruck infringement. Free kick against Jimmy Steins to go to Roger Merritt. Really playing his heart out in his final term, the big Bears skipper. 59-73. Melbourne have added just one goal since half-time in this match.
Bit ambitious having a shot from out here.
Well, I don't think he thought he could kick it, but he was looking for some movement. He pops a short pass and only gains about 10 metres to Ashcroft. Now, Merritt sneaking down into the forward pocket, but the Melbourne defence will pick him up. So Ashcroft keeps the ball fairly low, down towards full forward, but a good mark by Spalding. He gets the hand pass away to Rode. Rode kicks it out towards half back, but it's intercepted by Wern. No one near him, so he's able to get up after falling over and drive the ball deep back in towards full forward. It's taken by Spalding again. He handballs away to Lovett. Lovett gets it out to Yates. Good work by the Melbourne defence. They're standing firm under a lot of pressure in this final term. Yates has a bounce, then runs a full measure. Long hand pass up to Jay Viney, who's on the CUB logo on the wing on the outer side. Kicks to centre half forward. Jackson and Withers kicked off the ground now by Gary Lyon as Zanotti comes in. He'll kick it off the ground. He does, out towards the boundary line. Bennett leading the race for the ball, but Zanotti kicks it off the ground and up into the arms of Roberts. Roberts back towards the wing, a half volley, a pick-up attempted by Walsh, and he's finally able to get his hands around the ball. Long hand pass out to Wern, who's played a pretty good game. Wern gets it across here towards O'Keefe, and here's Leslie. He's 30, 40 metres away from O'Dwyer to take a handball. Oh, back it goes towards Wern. He fumbles. It'll rebound probably to Strawberry. The ball's kicked high down towards centre-half forward. Bennett goes up, punched away from him. Out in front of the pack, Ricky Jackson. Goes for a short pass out towards Healy. In comes Hart. Does well to spoil. Goal! Stretches, scalped. He has had his head almost removed from his shoulder. Crudest of crude tackles by O'Keefe. And Stretch will get the free kick near the point of the square for the Demons. And given Leslie time to get back. Goodness gracious.
Haven't they turned it over a few times today, though?
Unbelievable stuff. 18-20 final term. The Charles and Hunting scoreboard, Andrew Lawrence. Melbourne a 10-13-73. Brisbane a 9-5-59.
Long kick by Stretch. It's punched away. Taken by Withers. Hand passed across now to Roberts. Roberts short kick picked up by Windsor, who hand passes is accepted by Zanotti. Zanotti this time doesn't muck around. He goes long. Bounces favourably from Richardson. He's tackled from behind. He's run down, pushing the back for mine. And a very crude tackle is rewarded by the umpire. Now, Robbie, I would have given it the other way.
It was a touch and go. The umpire was right there, though.
So it's Steins, accepts a hand pass from Lovett. He's run down, and the loose ball is picked up by Gastev. Gastev one bounce, now hooks it down towards half forward, and Road comes out in front of Hardy to take a timely mark. Peter Road is there. He's got Jay Viney across the ground. Viney doing well for the Demons. He just casually bounces his way out of defence. Nobody runs near him. He puts the ball out to Eyesholt on centre wing. Pulled play on by the umpire. It was a free kick or remark or whatever. Wern takes it. Wern gives the hand pass across to O'Keefe. O'Keefe goes short. Looks for Merritt. Merritt out in front. Didn't take the mark, but recovers. Gets the short kick across the ground. Bain leaves it for Gastev. Gastev goes short across. Good play on that occasion because he saw Walsh. Walsh bounces it. It comes back. Puts himself under pressure. The right foot kick from Walsh goes down towards the forward pocket. Great effort by the Bears forward that time in McIver, but equal occasion was the Melbourne defence, and it's rushed over the boundary line. A throw-in to take place about 40 metres out from the Bears' goal. They trail 59-73, 14 points the margin. Charles and Hunting 3 AK scoreboard as Steins comes in. No one competing with Steins. Steins wins the tap out, puts it straight back over the boundary line. Another throw-in to take place.
Three-quarter time, VFA, Werribee 11-12-78, 4 points up on Dandenong, 11-8-74. Ricky Barron, the latest from you at Cardinia Park, and the Cats kicked another goal.
Yes, they have. They're a point down, but Billy Brownless is 25 metres out and a 45-degree angle at the 23-minute mark.
Okay, we'll wait for the kick from Billy Brownless. Ricky, is he coming in to kick for it?
He's lining up now. He's going to be 15 seconds.
Okay, 20.5 minutes gone, final term here. The Demons up by 14 points on the Charles and Hunting scoreboard. Ricky Barham as
he comes in, and he's put it through, as you can hear, and Geelong 5 points in front.
Thank you, Ricky. Geelong 5 points in front. Peter Welsh, the latest from Collingwood.
Latest here, Smokey, we have Collingwood 14-19, 103, leading St Kilda 6-5, 41.
And finally to Simon Beasley at Fitzroy.
20-minute mark, Fitzroy 15-17, 107, leading the Tigers 10-12, 72.
Ashenko wins a tap out. Ashcroft tries to force the ball through the pack. A big pack starts to form up, and the umpire very quick to come in and indicate that he'll bounce it 55 metres out from the goal. Jay Viney having a word to the umpire, and the umpire now going back to have a word to Jay Viney and suggest that he's in charge, and now he pulls time off and will bounce the ball. It's at half forward for the Brisbane Bears, who are battling hard to get back into this game. They've done a fine job just to hang in there as it's kicked off the ground by the Melbourne defence. Over the boundary line it goes, and another throw-in to take place, this time on centre wing, outer side of the ground. 21.5 minutes into the final term, 14 points the lead held by Melbourne. They led by 15 points at three-quarter time and have kicked with the breeze in this last quarter. So the Bears have gained 1 point as the tap out comes down to Bain, an excellent player that's run down that time off the boot of Wern. He goes after it again. Melbourne do well as we find Stretch crawling on his hands and knees to go after it. It's kicked off the ground by Eyesholt. Down towards half forward. Over the boundary line it goes. Half forward flank for Melbourne. Outer side of the ground. Melbourne 9-5. Bears, that is, 9-5-59. Melbourne 10-13-73. Charles and Hunting scoreboard as Bennett's to do the ruck work for Melbourne against Ashenko. Ashenko grabs it from the ruck. Hand passes forward, but it goes straight to Melbourne. We find Road picking the ball up, drives the ball long down the ground, punched away by Leslie from O'Dwyer. It's Gary Lyon and Zanotti. Lyon picks the ball up, but he's pushed in the side by Zanotti, and so the ball goes straight up and down, and no mark taken. Gastev tried to get the hand pass out. Desperate there as we see O'Keefe tap the ball out. Zanotti goes after it again, but Bennett does well to kick it off the ground. Might have hurt Zanotti at the same time. Hand pass back from Bennett, goes straight to the Bears, and O'Keefe puts it towards the boundary line. Over the boundary line it goes, and the throw-in will take place 55 to 60 metres out from Melbourne's goal. Melbourne struggling to put score on the board in this quarter. They've only added 1 goal, 1, kicking with the breeze. The Bears have added 1 goal, 2 against the breeze. Now we find Ashiko coming over the top, but it's tapped back towards Jackson. He gets it out to Eishold. Eishold goes straight across the ground. Lyon, the player he's looking for at the back. No mark taken. And we see the Bears race away. Reynoldsson has 1, now 2 bounces. Goes over the 50-metre line. Hand passes wide towards Walsh. Walsh of the Brisbane Bears from the AFL logo. Puts it out in front of Merritt. Merritt can't take the mark. Hughes goes after it, but it's over the boundary line before Hughes can gain possession. And with a 14-point lead, Melbourne happy to see it there. 24 minutes almost into the final term.
Let's go down to Cardinia Park and check the latest with Ricky Barham.
The 5-minute mark, Geelong are 4 points in front. Tough clash.
Okay, where's the ball, Ricky?
It's on Geelong's half-forward line at the moment, and they're kicking against a breeze.
Picked up by Ashcroft here for the Bears. His kick touched off the boot, but it rebounds to Merritt. High kick by Merritt in towards half-forward. And up comes Campbell to punch it away down towards Yates. And he's content to see the ball go out of bounds. So Collingwood and Fitzroy will in front. The Demons hanging on to a 14-point lead here at Waverley at the 24-minute mark of the final term on the Charles and Hunting scoreboard. But gee, Melbourne have added just 1 goal 5 since half-time here at Waverley. As the ball is kicked away by Jay Varney out of defence from half-back towards the wing. The handball comes, was it Windsor there? Yes, it was. Down towards Campbell now. Campbell kicks the ball in towards half-forward, and there's Big Ishinko. He's played a pretty solid game, the big fella. Marking in front of Bennett. Gets the handball in away towards Reynoldsson. Reynoldsson onto O'Keefe. Another handball onto Leslie. Leslie runs strongly straight through the centre. Too much toe for O'Dwyer, and his kick will fall into the arms of Ashcroft. Ricky Barham, the latest score at Cardinia Park.
Same score, 14-8-92. Geelong 4 points up on Essendon, 12-16-88 at the 26-minute mark. Essendon into attack.
And here's Ashcroft. He goes for a short pass. Richardson leads, and he doesn't take the mark. Almost gives a free kick away. Bain there to scout. Gets a hand pass away. Ball knocked away by the Melbourne defence. Out to Obst. Obst a handball to Steins. Steins waits to draw the player. Handball over the top to Healy. Healy clears for the Demons from half-back to half-forward, looking for O'Dwyer. Leading Leslie in the race for the ball this time. He falls over. Leslie comes over the top. In comes Windsor for the Brisbane Bears, and the ball out of bounds. Ricky Barham, the latest score.
Same score. It's ball up in the Essendon goal square. Play on as Geelong clear. Okay. Yeah, so I thought it was out of bounds in the full, but it landed on the line. Back pocket of Geelong. Geelong 14-8-92. 4 points up. 12-16-88 at the 28-minute mark.
Handball from Walsh across to Windsor. Windsor kicks to half-forward, and a good mark taken by Lovett. Not paid to the umpire. Quick hand pass from Richardson across to McIver. Out comes Merritt. Handball comes from Hardy. Richardson from 20 metres out fires at goal. Oh, he's hit the post. A poster by Richo. 2 goals, 1. Well, they're really working hard, the Bears. They go to 9-6-60. They've outscored Melbourne in this quarter. They're only 13 points down. It's a real creditable performance by them. At the 26-minute mark, Ricky Barham, the latest at Geelong.
As you can hear, Essendon's Tim Watson has marked in the goal square 3 metres out and has kicked the goal. Puts Essendon 2 points in front.
Thank you very much indeed, Ricky Barham. The ball kicked in by Danny Hughes, and it's marked by Tingay at centre-half back for Melbourne.
Stephen Tingay goes for the long kick, favours the drop punt, puts it straight down the ground. Bennett in front, couldn't take the mark. Recovers well, though. It bounced back to Bennett, but there's the siren. Melbourne running out winners. Not the most impressive performance by the Demons, but 4 points nonetheless. Melbourne final score on the Charles and Hunting scoreboard, 10-13, 73, 13 points up on the Brisbane Bears, 9-6-60.
And Murray will just check that latest score from Cardinia Park. A moment ago, they were 2 points down. Ricky Barham, what's the latest at Geelong?
They're just bouncing the ball, same score, 2 points, 20.
Stoneham goes in and Salmon wins the tap to the open spaces. Long's chasing it with the 3 Geelong players. Essendon have got a chance still. Long had it, lost it. In goes Anderson. A chance there for Spiro Malakalis, but it's Anderson to Watson, over to Sterrett. Stacks on the bill. Umpire watches. Buick's got it, and the umpire's going to bounce it. 25 seconds left. 25 seconds to go. Count me down here as the umpire comes in. About 20 seconds to go to bounce the football here on the